God-level entry system and I can kill monsters to explode entries. Chapter 21. What you didn't do in your previous life, you can do in this life. The regrets left in the past life must be made up for in this life. Anyway, being alone, what's the harm in giving him an awesome ambition to turn things around and create a new world? Have a good fight. Live a chic life. Lin Shuang and Wang Ling were both stunned. Shen Junwu is usually taciturn, but there is such a grand ambition hidden in his heart. What does it mean to have the world in mind? That's it. What is a hero in troubled times? That's it. What does it mean to be a majestic and good man? That's it. Traveling silently all the way. After walking through the narrow alleys for more than 10 minutes, we finally came to the wide, clean avenue. Across the avenue, there are magnificent wealthy areas towering into the sky. On one side are dilapidated buildings that may collapse at some point. It was packed with people. One side is brilliant and bright, and the high-rise buildings made of the best steel can withstand a magnitude 10 earthquake. Well-dressed, luxury cars come and go. The sharp contrast highlights the reality and cruelty of the times. Common people who want to rise up and live in the mansion across the street have only one way to do it: fight with their lives and fight with their blood. Quote Creek. At this moment, a group of magnificent and luxurious civilian armored vehicles came to a halt in front of Shen Junwu. There was a clang. The doors on both sides of the car were opened simultaneously, and 4 people each stepped out of the car, all on guard, not allowing anyone to approach. Subsequently, in a car facing Shen Junwu, the door slowly opened, and an elegant woman wearing red high heels and a cheongsam got out of the car leisurely. After looking at the layout of the slums in front of him with disgust and disdain, his eyes fell on Shen Junwu. Except for the look of surprise. Disdain and disdain are not hidden. After a long time, seeing Shen Junwu motionless, the noble woman was displeased and said coldly, "You are mute, don't you know how to call someone?" "Oh," Shen Junwu nodded stupidly. "Thief fool, what are you doing here?" You. The noble woman was trembling with anger. "You are so bold, what did you call me? Didn't you ask me to call someone? In my heart, you only deserve the words, thief and fool." Shen Junwu replied proudly. She was none other than Shen Yu's aunt, the widow Yu Jin hooked up with, Shen Qian. A woman who couldn't bear the loneliness for even one night, often went to high-end clubs, and brought home a man who was 1.8 meters tall and had big abdominal muscles. How can this not make sense? How can it not make sense? Shen Qian was furious. "Here comes. Palm mouth, palm mouth. How dare you?" Lin Shuang scolded with a cold face. Shen Junwu is already a student at Zhanzhan University and a disciple of senior Yang Kongshuan. Hear this. The Shen family bodyguard who was just about to step forward stopped. Shen Qian glared at Lin Shuang and said arrogantly, "You, a little girl, can't take care of the household affairs of my Shen family. Zhanzhan University, Yang Kongshuan is not qualified either." The Shen family still likes to think highly of themselves. Influenced by the Shen family tradition. The women in the Shen family are all stupid. Shen Junwu didn't want to waste time in front of a fool, so he turned around and left. "Don't leave." Shen Qian was humiliated and became even more angry. After receiving the order, Shen Qian's 4 elite bodyguards strode forward and stopped Shen Junwu. Shen Qian sneered and stepped forward. "Shen Junwu, did my aunt let you go? You were admitted to Zhanzhan University and became a disciple of an expert. You are still a member of the Shen family. You must obey the orders of the Shen family. This is your obligation. You want to die, don't you?" Shen Junwu turned around in anger, his murderous intention coming out fiercely. You are presumptuous." Shen Qian felt cold all over, but she was unwilling to lose her prestige and immediately accused, "Shen Junwu, I am your aunt and your elder." "Ha ha ha ha. In this way, the menstruating guy is considered my elder." Quote. Shen Junwu laughed loudly, and his tone suddenly became cold, "But he still had his neck wiped by me." Hear this. Shen Qian was finally afraid, and stepped back a few steps. The rumors are true. The cowardly Shen Junwu in the past no longer exists and has transformed into a murderer. Afraid of returning, Shen Qian still didn't want to show weakness and spoke arrogantly again, "I am here this time to convey a message for the old man. You have proven your talent and ability, and you are qualified to return to the Shen family. However, You seriously injured Uaa regardless of brotherhood and must accept punishment. Quote. Shen Junwoo smiled contemptuously. Then what? The old man hired a high-level therapist to reattach Uaa's limbs. This time on your way to Zanzan University, you must obey Uaa's instructions in everything. Quote. Shen Qian continued arrogantly. In addition, give your 6th level spirit bead to Uaa as compensation. From now on, you will become the Shen family and can enjoy the Shen family's resources and skills. Ha 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 ha. After Shen Junwoo listened patiently, he couldn't help laughing loudly. There is arrogance. There is sadness. There is also indifference. Lin Shuang and Wang Ling both felt their ears tingling. How could there be such a shameless person in the world? Did Shen Yu disregard his brotherhood and actually blame Shen Junwoo? Humph, don't forget that your last name is Shen. Shen Qian was stupid, but she could also hear Shen Junwoo smile. In the world of the strong, you can only go far if you have connections and a backing. Is the Shen family awesome? Shen Junwoo suppressed his anger and asked. The Shen family is very noble and noble. Shen Junwoo, don't be so shameless. What is your mother's profession? Do you need me to remind you? Shen Qian was a little impatient. With your status, being recognized by the old man and officially entering the Shen family tree is a blessing you have cultivated in 8 lifetimes. You are an idiot. Shen Junwoo was angry, completely angry. The rare grade long knife in the space ring was instantly in hand, and with a flip of his wrist, the long knife flew away. The blade passed from the left side of Shen Qian's waist, then turned to her lower back, and finally returned to Shen Junwoo's hand from her waist with her right hand. The long knife revolved around Shen Qian and returned. Shen Qian's cheongsam was torn from the waist, and the lower half immediately fell to the ground. The knife comes out like lightning. None of the bodyguards could respond in time. The next second, not only passers-by stopped, but even the bodyguards kept a close eye on Shen Qian. So cool. What a blast. It's actually a mesh. Is this really comfortable to wear? Ah, ah, Shen Qian, who recovered from the breath of death, screamed in shock and anger. His eyes were full of horror. She felt that Shen Junwoo actually wanted to kill her in half. How dare he do this to her? After screaming for a while, only then did Shen Qian realize that she had been exposed. She quickly ran into the car to escape and shouted angrily, "Kill him! Give it to your aunt and I will kill this little beast. Mr. Shen, this and this." The bodyguards turned their heads in horror. Can students from Zanzan University and disciples of Yang Kongshuan be killed? You really want to die? Don't harm us. How dare you disobey orders? Kill him immediately and I will bear all the consequences. Shen Qian had never suffered such a shame and humiliation and couldn't bear it. Kill him immediately. This is the family law and has nothing to do with others. What a loud tone. The family laws of the Shen family can actually replace the national laws. I want to see who the Shen family is and dare to replace the national laws. At this time, an angry and extremely majestic man's voice sounded behind the bodyguards. This sound, Shen Jun is familiar with martial arts. When he comes here, there must be nothing good going on. Shen Junwoo was not in the mood to talk nonsense with the idiots of the Shen family, so he quickly turned around and left. However, as soon as Shen Junwoo turned around, he immediately saw 2 people he didn't want to see. This posture. You are blocking his road. The majestic voice strode into the crowd and smiled jokingly. Look. I'm right. This kid is born in the year of the monkey, and will definitely run away when he hears my voice. Shen Junwoo couldn't leave, so he turned around with an awkward smile and said, "May I ask who you are?" Lin Shuang was stunned for a moment. Ji Yu Changfeng, director of Kengyun City's Jinyi Bureau, don't you recognize him? I just saved your life a few days ago. You are a fish, your memory only lasts 7 seconds. You fool, stop pretending you don't know me. Ji Yu Changfeng glared angrily. How can you just pretend that you don't know me and just default on your debt? Replacing one's debt, what debt one is relying on? Shen Junwoo spread his hands. Do I owe you 3 something? Why didn't I know? You, look at how crazy you are about money. Cao Tianyu, who was behind Shen Junwoo, kicked him in the butt angrily. I gave you the pouring cloud sword, isn't that enough? You fool, for a knife, you hide at home for several days without going out, and you don't even buy groceries, that's really okay. Ouch, ouch, looking at my memory, it's really bad. It turns out to be Ji Yuju, Captain Feng, and you, a groundhog. After hearing this, Shen Junwu suddenly realized and slapped his forehead. It's all because it was too dark that night. I didn't see your faces clearly. It's really not my fault. Lin Shuang's brain clicked and stopped. Who is this? When someone said they gave him the Poyan sword, they immediately changed their faces and recognized him. How shameless. If not sent, then will he pretend to have never known each other? As for what, are those heroic words just now true? You. Cao Tianyu was also extremely speechless. Accepted. Ji Yu Chengfeng was also convinced. His soft eyes instantly became serious, and he looked straight at Shen Qian in the car. I, Ji Yu Chengfeng, Director of Kengyun City Jinyi Bureau, Shen Junwu's eldest brother. Who are you? Are you giving the order to dispose of my brother Shen's family? Shen Qian's heart was trembling. Shen Junwu, a high school student who has just made his mark, how can he become brothers with a bureau-level figure in the Jinyi Bureau? Haha, there's me too. I should introduce myself as well. Quote. Cao Tianyu patted his big belly and stepped forward with a smile. Cao Tianyu, a recent graduate of Zhanzhan University and the successor of Shenbing Villa. The members of the Longyuan Army's special team, the Fire Phoenix team, have a low military rank, just captain. I almost forgot that only he, Shen Junwu, dared to call me a groundhog. Quote. Shen Qian's lips trembled and her whole body trembled. What is the identity of the heir to Shenbing Villa? Even the old man of the Shen family has to give in. I should also introduce myself. My name is Feng Sanyu, from Shangjing. Quote. Feng Fanyu stepped forward with a cold face. Fresh graduate of Zhanzhan University, special team of Longyuan Army, captain of Fire Phoenix, military rank, major. Feng, Miss Feng. Shen Qian was completely confused this time. One of the extraordinary families of the Dragon Kingdom, the daughter of the Feng family. The famous genius of Zhanzhan University has the bloodline of the mythical beast Phoenix. Almost forgot to mention it. Feng Fanyu waved his hand. My life was saved by Shen Junwu. As soon as these words came out, Shen Qian felt completely weak and collapsed on the seat on the spot. It was obvious from their words that if they touched Shen Junwu, they would be enemies of Shenbing Villa, Jinyi Bureau, and Feng family. Is this still the illegitimate child? This kind of network of connections is not even matched by the Shen family. Guard Bureau. Someone intends to murder Zhanzhan University students, disciples of Senior Yang Kongshuan, and cut off the future backbone of our Dragon Kingdom. What is the crime? Feng Fanyu doesn't say much harshly, but speaks coldly. Same crime as treason. Ji Yu Chengfeng did not hesitate. I will order the patrol team to come and arrest the criminals for a public trial. Thank you Ji Yu Ju. Shen Junwu cupped his hands and smiled, and immediately added insult to injury. But how come I heard that the violators in the secret realm of the martial arts college entrance examination and the criminals who intended to kill were not punished? Instead, you obtained admission to the War University. Is this the case? Ji Yu Chengfeng was shocked. He really didn't know. Brother Shen, I will investigate strictly immediately. Ji Yu Chengfeng did not dare to be careless and immediately walked aside to make a phone call to inquire. It's over. It's completely over. It's over. Shen Qian's mood at this moment was extremely complicated. How come all the things that I finally suppressed were ruined? Ji Yu Chengfeng intervened. Does Shen Yu still have a future? No more. Nothing is left. Completely finished. Shen Junwu, no. Junwu, you can't do this, you can't do this. I am your aunt, Shen Yu is your brother, you can't do this to us. Quote. Shen Qian finally broke through her guard, and with a change of attitude, she stood up and begged for mercy. Auntie was wrong, Auntie was really wrong. You sir have a lot of money, so don't argue with my aunt, a weak woman. She is petty and has little knowledge. Please forgive me. Shut up. Lin Shuang couldn't stand listening anymore, so he stepped forward and slapped Shen Qian in the face. Subsequently, he was still afraid that Shen Junwu would be soft-hearted, so he quickly persuaded, Shen Junwu, don't return to such a ruthless and unjust family, let alone be kidnapped by their morals. They will kill you. They don't deserve to be your relatives. Quote. Shen Junwu was stunned for a moment. When did people with the Holy Mother's heart realize this? Not bad. Shen Zhengwu smiled happily and was very touched. Some places have grown up, and people have also grown up. You guy. Lin Shuang stamped her foot angrily. I'm not kidding you. I know. Shen Zhengwu looked solemn. You have the world in mind now, which is very good. You still say. Lin Shuang was so angry that she stamped her feet. She was sure that what Shen Zhengwu wanted to express was not literal. Rogue plus fool. Okay, no more talking. Shen Zhengwu quickly admitted his mistake and turned to look at Shen Qian. Listen carefully, I, Shen Zhengwu, only have a mother, no father, and no relatives. The name Shen Zhengwu was given to me by my mother, it has nothing to do with your Shen family. Quote. Finished. Shen Zhengwu walked to a secluded place. Feng Sanyu said that if Cao Tianyu didn't come for the Poyan sword, there must be something else. Lin Shuang. Wang Ling was very sensible and did not follow him. The three of them stood facing each other. Feng Fanyu stared at Shen Zhengwu for a while, and then said, your talent is indeed extraordinary. You have reached the 3rd level in such a short period of time. We have found the right person. The hat is too high. Shen Zhengwu could see that Feng Fanyu's cultivation level had reached the point where he could break through the 5th level at any time. Captain, this guy is a dog-faced guy. He can't stand praise and he likes to push his limits. Cao Tianyu patted Shen Zhengwu on the shoulder. We'd better say what we have to say directly and don't beat around the bush with him. Shen Zhengwu rolled his eyes at him. The two have known each other for a short time, but they are very compatible and like this conversation mode. Okay, then I'll tell you what I have to say. Feng Sanyu solemnly said. We were ordered to hunt down key criminals this time, but fell into a trap and were attacked by the storm-winged python. 3 members of the team lost their lives, and the others are still missing. Therefore, we would like to ask you to temporarily join the Fire Phoenix team to help us complete the mission and apprehend the criminals. Quote. Shen Zhengwu was stunned for a moment. Generally speaking, most students entering university have 2nd level cultivation. 3 years of graduation. Most people's cultivation can reach the 4th level. Therefore, those who generally enter the wilderness to perform tasks must have at least a 4th level cultivation level. Why, are you scared? Feng Fanyu raised his eyebrows. Captain Feng, use the provoking method. Shen Zhengwu smiled slightly. According to the truth, I am obligated. But my cultivation level is a bit low, and I still need to participate in the actual combat assessment of Zhan University, so I don't have time. I have already arranged this. Zhan University has agreed to a secondment, exempting you from the actual combat assessment, as long as you arrive at school on time. Quote. Feng Fanyu smiled slightly. Now, are you obligated to do so? Logically, I should. Shen Zhengwu nodded. However, my cultivation level is too low and I am timid. Feng Fanyu was stunned for a moment. Are you timid? How dare you, a 2nd level person, go to the wilderness alone and sneak into the territory of a 3rd level alien beast? Do you think you are cowardly? She didn't see it with her own eyes, but Cao Tianyu talked about it all day long. The ears can hear the cocoons. Cao Tianyu sighed secretly, but the captain was still naive and immediately said, Captain, this guy is not good for you. Feng Sanyu suddenly realized. He solemnly promised. Shen Zhengwu, as long as you agree, I will give you all the spiritual beads I gained along the way. With your gifts, after completing this mission, you may be able to reach the 4th level of cultivation. By then, you may have the opportunity to participate in the selection of the hunter at school. Hey, there's no such thing as a spiritual pearl. Captain Feng is just being polite. As a person, I am most loyal. As a member of the Dragon Kingdom, you should have the consciousness to sacrifice your life for the country at any time. Quote. Shen Zhengwu was secretly happy, and his mood was instantly impassioned. Besides, this groundhog and I hit it off as old friends at first sight, so it was my duty to do so. Cao Tianyu rolled his eyes and said with a wicked smile, since it is obligatory, let's forget about the Lingju matter. No, Shen Zhengwu laughed hurriedly. The main reason is that my cultivation level is too low and I am afraid of holding you back. It doesn't matter if I die. If something goes wrong with Captain Feng, a beautiful woman like a flower with unparalleled talents, it will be a loss for the country and the people, so my sin will be great. Quote. Feng Fanyu could tell. This guy's mouth is not only smelly, but also quite hypocritical. Jilagwala, I don't know when, but I took the person into a ditch. Stop being such a mouthful. You are the last member of the temporary team of Fire Phoenix. Time is running out. Go say goodbye to your 2 little girlfriends and set off now. Quote. Cao Tianyu is actually greedy for money. Like him, Shen Junwu is a gentleman who loves money and gets it in a wise way. Bah bah, how is this fool the same as me? I don't dare to hack other people's legendary weapons. Lin Shuang's eyes almost turned red when she learned that Shen Junwu was going to perform an extremely dangerous mission. His fingers couldn't help but grab Shen Junwu's clothes. She is a disciple of an aristocratic family. I have been exposed to it since childhood. He knows the dangers of the wilderness, and he also knows the danger factor of the military special team's mission. Don't worry, good people don't live long, but disasters last for thousands of years. How could a bad guy like me die? Shen Junwu comforted softly. Remember what I once said, don't have the heart of the Holy Mother on the way to Zanzan University. Save if you can. If you can't save them, leave. Ensure your own safety first, then you can save more people. In this world, people are dying all the time, and you can't save them. Quote. Yeah, I know. Lin Shuang nodded heavily and became hesitant to speak. She wanted to say but dared not. Come back alive. I'll be waiting for you at Zanzan University. When you come back, I'll give you a surprise. In the end, Lin Shuang gritted his teeth and said something ambiguous. The words fell. Lin Shuang's face instantly turned red, and she immediately dragged Wang Ling and ran away. Don't worry, I still don't know why your mind suddenly became so big, but you can't bear to die. Shen Junwu laughed loudly in response. Lin Shuang stumbled and almost fell down. Sure enough, gangster plus bad guy. Cao Tianyu heard what Shen Junwu meant and immediately gave a thumbs up. Brother, high. How high is it? Let's go. Feng Fanyu also heard Shen Junwu's teasing, snorted coldly, turned around and walked towards the parking place. Cao Tianyu and Shen Junwu followed behind and whispered, You little fool, clean up your foul mouth. Our captain is not Lin Shuang's sister. She hates men who are boastful. Don't tease girls casually in front of her. Of course Shen Junwu knew. Feng Sanyu devoted half of his life to fighting against alien beasts. The other half is devoted to power. But the power she controls is not what she wants, but what the family needs. Otherwise, with her talent and strength, she can participate in the selection of hunter instead of entering the military camp. Talk about it. She is pathetic. Being used as a pawn by her family in the struggle for power, she was even asked to like someone she hated extremely. Fortunately, she successfully rejected the engagement through her own efforts. But she was also forced to swear that she would never marry in this life. Half an hour later, 3 people in a car arrived at the southeastern pass outside the city where Xiaolai and others were stationed. At the pass, there were 3 military tanks waiting, each with a driver. There were a few scattered people standing in front of the car, not saying a word to each other, and they were extremely strange. One of the young men. He was in his early 20s, with a scar on his face. He looked aloof and stood out from the crowd, smoking. The other 2 were fine. They were both young, and their pride was written on their faces. Also, the makeshift team also has a girl with a good figure and sweet appearance, who exudes the smell of life. Should be a rare healer. Let me introduce. These 4 are all geniuses from the ancient martial arts families in Kenyan City. Che Jinlei is a 4th-level warrior and a 4th-level lightning power user. Shui Bei, a 4th-level gold-type superpower. Dunan, a 4th-level wood-type superpower. The last girl, Yan Jingjing, the daughter of the Yan family, is a 4th-level healer. Quote. Feng Fanyu got out of the car and pointed one by one. This is Shen Junwu, a freshman at Zanzan University, a 3rd-level psychic ability user. For the next trip, I hope everyone can get together as soon as possible to form a combat effectiveness. 3rd level. Hearing this, the 4 of them were shocked. The aloof Che Jinlei looked disdainful. Captain Feng, you actually made us wait for 2 days for a mere 3rd-level high school student. Feng Fanyu didn't answer. Shen Junwu knew the meaning of Feng Sanyu. These 4 people were all famous geniuses in Kenyan City, with withdrawn and arrogant personalities. You have to get their approval before you can work as a team. Shen Junwu was too lazy to answer. In his eyes, these geniuses in their early 20s are all brats. Walk straight towards the lead car. The first car is luxurious and comfortable to sit in. When he opened the back seat door, Shen Junwu was shocked. There was someone else in the car. It's a woman. A person who is very beautiful and has a good figure, but has no cultivation and has superpowers. Looks a bit familiar. I couldn't remember where I had seen it for a while. Shen Junwu turned around blankly. Captain Feng, what kind of plane are you planning? Born again. Shen Junwu has a very casual personality, he can be happy and cheerful as he pleases. But when it comes to work, never be careless. The wilderness is full of murderous intent. Feng Fanyu, a top-level 4-level beast transformation system user, would die if he was not careful. Are you kidding me about taking a woman with no skills on a mission? Well, the order from above is to escort her to Tianan City. Cao Tianyu quickly explained. Soldiers, it is their bounden duty to obey orders, you all understand it. I understand. Shen Junwu was furious on the spot, but soon thought of her identity, and the next words did not come out. With their current positions, they really can't refuse. Shen Junwu was forced to agree and said worriedly, although it is only more than 300 kilometers from Kenyan City to Tianan City, there is a unique place called God-Burying Stream. This is a place that must be passed through. Birds will not pass through it, and strange beasts will not exist. Anyone who attempts to pass through the God Burial Stream will either die without a burial place, or they will go crazy and be worse off than life or death. Are you sure you want to go? Because of this desperate place. The traffic between Kenyan City and many cities was completely cut off. Of course, you can take a detour and send a plane to pick you up. But the dangers of the wilderness include not only strange animals, but also bad environments. The most terrible. In fact, it's not a strange beast, it's the environment. After the spiritual energy is revived, the geographical location is changing every moment. If you don't pay attention, you will lose your way and be trapped forever. Not to mention the mysterious power in the environment that cannot be observed. As for flying, it looks like a scorching sun and a clear sky, but there are many extremely powerful flying beasts hidden in it, as well as thunder that can tear everything apart, as well as cracks in the void, strong winds, etc. If Dragon Kingdom's science and technology were not developed enough, there would be no communication between the cities. Have to go, Feng Sanyu said solemnly. The wanted criminal disappeared in the God Burial Stream, and the ferocious beast king, Storm-Winged Python, also came out of it. Why? Cao Tianyu sighed and said. The things in the hands of the criminals are very important to the Long Kingdom and must be taken back. So important, Shen Junwu frowned. Then why not let the hunter take action? This matter is not allowed to be leaked. Feng Fanyu said solemnly again. The hunters are all top-notch experts, and their every move is watched by someone. With that said, Shen Junwu understood. This trip has to go. After thinking about it, Shen Junwu solemnly said, in this case, this operation will be commanded by me. I will leave when I let you go, and stop when I let you. Feng Fanyu hasn't spoken yet. Che Jinlei was dissatisfied for a moment, threw away the cigarette butt, and stamped it out. Boy, you are a third-level person, have you ever been out of the wilderness? You actually want to replace Captain Feng's rights, who gave you the courage to say such a thing? Do all people with lightning powers like to explode their hair so much? Shen Junwu smiled bitterly. Brother La, I know you have a good background and good talent, but the 4th level is just the starting point of life. You still dare to preach to me? Che Jinlei's face turned cold. You are so awesome, give me a palm thunder first. He raised his palm. A bolt of lightning instantly appeared above Shen Junwu's head. Shen Junyu chuckled softly and did not dodge or dodge, allowing the lightning to invade his body from above his head. See this. Feng Fanyu and Cao Tianyu were both shocked. I never expected that Shen Junwu would be so conceited and not dodge. They wanted to stop it, but it was too late. A continuous crackling sound resounded. Cao Tianyu didn't even notice Feng Sanyu. 4th level versus 3rd level, Shen Junwu would be burned even if he died, and he was afraid that he would not be able to continue to perform the mission. After a while, everyone heard a groan of stretching. Lift up your eyes and look. Shen Junwu was unexpectedly unscathed, and even stretched out comfortably, feeling very comfortable. It's cool, it's cool. Shen Junwoo flexed his muscles and stepped forward excitedly. Brother, come on, give me a few more strokes. Your palm is so comfortable. The technique is much better than that of the lady at the foot bath club. The massage is really comfortable. I need a few more massages. Quote. Hear these words. The corners of Che Jinlei's mouth twitched and he almost vomited blood. Why do you use my first skill for massage, and compare him with those inferior massage girls? Feng Sanyu said. Cao Tianyu couldn't help but look at each other with confusion on his face. How is this possible? Even the two of them would be seriously injured if they didn't fight back. Brother La, don't be stingy. Shen Junwoo spoke again. There won't be any big battles in a few hours. Come on, let's have a few more. I'll help you. Che Jinlei could never stand such a provocation, and he had never seen someone so desperate for death. No more holding back. The Palm Thunder was fully activated and bombarded Shen Junwoo continuously. Result: Shen Junwoo spread his hands with a look of enjoyment on his face, and made bursts of unbearable humming sounds. I don't know, I thought he was doing something. A dozen times in a row. Jin Lei's car was broken, and he got into the car in frustration, and depressedly took out a cigarette and lit it. Worry, you fool, what a pervert. Cao Tianyu came to his senses, rushed to Shen Junwoo, and kept tugging at his clothes and pants. I want to see if Shen Junwoo has any treasure hidden in his clothes that can protect him from lightning. Result: no hair at all. Cao Tianyu looked at him depressedly. You kid, you are not a lightning rod, are you? You are the lightning rod. This is called ability. Do you think that because I am like you, I know how to dig holes in the soil? Shen Junwoo glared. He was able to remain unscathed, with not even a single hair curled up, all thanks to his third power, the swallowing power. This ability, it is indeed one of the special abilities. In terms of devouring and refining, and devouring and discharging force, no one can compare. Not only did Che Jinlei's Palm Thunder not hurt Shen Junwoo, it also formed a considerable quenching chain on his body, making his body much stronger. So amazing. Feng Sanskrit is also incomprehensible. But a good thing. He slowly stepped forward and said, Shen Junwoo, are you sure? It's okay. Shen Junwoo smiled confidently. Follow my command, there is a 50% chance of passing the God-burying stream. As for whether you believe it or not, that is your business. Okay, I listen to you. Feng Fanyu immediately made a decision. You take the lead and lead the way. Take command. Little brother, come. Everyone saw Shen Junwoo's ability. The beauty in the lead car, Lulu, quickly patted the seat next to her. It's safe to have a fourth-level invulnerable guy by your side. Well, Shen Junwoo was stunned for a moment. Well, I like girls, not young women. Say it. Shen Junwoo got on the front passenger seat and picked up the intercom on his seat. Let's go. If you are attacked by a strange beast, you can only fight it off. As long as the lead car doesn't stop, no one is allowed to stop. Quote. Travel through the wilderness. The most important thing is speed. In the world of martial arts, only fast ones are invincible, and they have a wide range of applications. The convoy sets off. Looking at the handsome and commander-like face on the co-pilot, Lulu felt a little uncomfortable. Actually rejected her. The meaning of saying she is a young woman is very clear. She is touched by another man and dislikes her. Does he know himself and his own affairs? How does a high school graduate know her? Moreover, are you still confident that you can pass the God-burying stream? What a strange boy. Gradually, Lulu looked a little fascinated. It seems that I am attracted by a certain aura on Shen Junwoo. The more I look at it, the less I can see through it. The more I look at it, the more I want to understand. What a departure. More than 10 minutes later, the convoy completely entered the wilderness area. The roar of the engine soon alerted the nearby low-level alien beasts, and they all headed towards this relatively intact avenue. But it is difficult for alien beasts below level 3 to cause damage to tanks. The only thing to consider. It was the alien beast that looked at death as if it were home and blocked the road with its body, forcing the chariot to stop. The driver seemed to be on a mission. His mental quality was pretty good, and he continued to move around the odd beasts blocking the road. Hey, little brother, say something. Lulu felt it was boring and wanted to test it out, so she took the initiative to say, you have just graduated from high school and are in the 3rd level. You are very talented. I'm not young. Shen Junwu interrupted her coldly. You have never seen such a big one in your life. Lulu was stunned for a moment. Then he chuckled and answered nonchalantly, I didn't realize it. You little guy knows a lot. You have had a lot of girlfriends in high school. Don't be so arrogant, it's disgusting. Shen Junwu warned coldly. I am not one of those old men who died half body in the earth. I don't care about women like you. You, who are you? Lulu was shocked. What else do you know? You don't have to worry about who I am. I don't mind your business. Quote. Shen Junwu replied coldly. The only thing is, don't disturb me. Otherwise, I don't mind throwing you down to feed the wild beasts. Hear the words. The driver was obviously unhappy, but he finally tolerated it. Without Feng Sanyu and his team, they would not be able to complete their mission. Lulu was very angry. But she is a weak woman, how dare she say one more word in the wilderness? She just doesn't understand why Shen Junwu hates her so much. Is she so unbearable after having had several men? In this era, where does pure white come from? The convoy successfully passed through the territory outside Kenyan City and below the third level. The weird weather started to change. The scorching sun suddenly turned into fog, visibility was less than 10 meters, and the vehicle speed was forced to slow down. Don't slow down, press the accelerator full force. Shen Junwu's expression changed and he immediately gave the order. You want to crash the car and kill people. The driver of the lead car didn't want to listen. Idiot, this is not an ordinary fog. Rather, it is a poisonous mist that can make fourth-level warriors trance. Quote. Shen Junwu shouted angrily. Close your eyes and drive the blind car, follow my command to turn the direction, immediately. The driver of the lead car was shocked and could only choose to believe it. Follow the car behind, stay close to the vehicle in front, and the distance between the vehicles should not exceed 10 meters. Quote. After Shen Junwu took the walkie-talkie and gave the order, he immediately directed, go left, half circle, return to the straight line. Turn to the right, back to straight. Turn 1.5 times to the right, slowly return to the straight line. A fast and furious show. The vehicles behind him reacted quickly through Shen Junwu's words and visibility and followed closely. Feng Sanyu et al. Through the car window, I saw many fourth-order snapping turtles on the road. If the direction is slightly deviated, it will run over the huge, snapping turtle. Even if the car does not overturn, the sharp spikes on the snapping turtle shell will puncture the tires. The situation is very dangerous. Good boy, you really have some skills. Brother Cha Jinlei already understood and was quite impressed. Look at the speed of change, the detection range of mental abilities can reach 100 meters away. That's right, after Shen Junwu was promoted to the third level, the distance of mental detection was greatly increased, reaching 100 meters away. Moreover, a third spiritual skill was also condensed, called Spiritual Domain. With Shen Junwu as the center, the area with a radius of 100 meters belongs to the spiritual realm. Within the domain, all living beings will be mentally suppressed by him. It is a very abnormal group attack auxiliary skill that can lead to mental confusion, slow reaction, etc. 5 minutes later, the convoy broke out of the fog without any danger. However, the crisis is not over. On the road ahead, a group of fourth-order buffalo monsters appeared. But it is huge, weighs over a ton, and has huge sharp horns. The road is blocked. Shen Jun and Wudang were quick to say, don't stop, just rush over and let the combatants clear the way. Feng Fanyu, Cao Tianyu, Che Jinlei, Shui Bei, and Dunan quickly came from behind and stood on the roof of the leading car. Feng Fanyu, Che Jinlei, and Shui Bei attacked, breaking off its legs and making it incapacitated. Shen Junwu sat in the car and commanded, Dunan, use the entanglement of the wood attribute to clear the obstacles and move the blocking buffalo monster away. Cao Tianyu is always ready to use earth powers to build roads and bridges to ensure that vehicles do not overturn and move forward smoothly. Quote. Dunan was shocked. It was definitely the first time that Shen Junwu met him, but he actually knew what skills he had. No one had an opinion. Properly arranged, it is a perfect plan. The buffalo monster was huge in size, so it moved clumsily. Under the joint efforts of Feng Fanyu, Che Jinlei, and Shui Bei, who were good at attacking, their legs were continuously chopped off. After falling down, Dunan quickly struck out with his superpower and moved him away. Coupled with Cao Tianyu's cooperation, the speed of the team was slowed down, but it was still smooth. When the level is about to be cleared, the ground suddenly trembled and rumbled continuously. Shen Junwu looked up, his scalp numb. A Tier 4 feet Buffalo King, weighing 3 tons, led more than 30 Tier 4 elite bison and charged towards the convoy. Charge with force. The strategy doesn't work. Behind the convoy, there are ordinary buffalo monsters chasing them, and the situation is not good. Shen Junwu, what should I do? Feng Fanyu asked eagerly. After seeing Shen Junwu's commanding ability and reaction ability, she had already regarded Shen Junwu as the commander of this temporary team. Along the way, if it were her, she would never do better than Shen Junwu. Just do it. Shen Junwu twisted his body and jumped from the car window to the front of the car. It's still the same action plan as before. The only difference is that after I issued the order, you three, Feng Fanyu, Che Jinlei, and Shui Bei, directly used your big moves to greet these beasts. Quote. Are you sure? Che Jinlei was a little skeptical. With Feng Sanyu's cultivation, even with all his strength, it would take time to defeat the 4th level Buffalo King. How could he and Shui Bei deal with dozens of 4th level elite bison? Haha, brother is a miracle. Shen Junwu laughed confidently and raised his hands in the air. So, I can create a miracle that allows you to annihilate the enemy in one fell swoop. Thrilling moments of life and death. Everyone is keeping an eye on the 4th order, Buffalo King, ahead. The chariot is advancing. Bison King, the elite bison is sprinting, quickly closing the distance. 300 meters, 200 meters, 100 meters. After entering 100 meters away, Feng Sanyu was so shocked that he broke into a cold sweat. Why didn't he give the order? If you lose the distance advantage, you lose the upper hand. The chariots will be destroyed. 3 seconds later. The elite bison in the rear finally came within 100 meters of Shen Junwu, and immediately shouted, do it, kill. At the same time, Shen Junwu's third skill, Spiritual Domain, was instantly released and covered. Phoenix Flame. Thunder comes to the world. Golden light cuts shadows. Feng Fanyu, Che Jinlei, and Shui Bei used their 4th level skills at the same time. Only, they all attacked with all their strength, but without any confidence. 4th level alien beasts belong to the middle level alien beast level. They have their own innate skills and are not easy to be killed. However, when they launched a skill attack, they suddenly discovered that the Buffalo King and Elite Buffalo were in a wrong state, and they didn't even launch a counterattack against them. The speed is slowed down. Response is delayed. It's like being under some kind of attack. Boom, boom, boom. The next second, the attacks of Feng Fanyu, Che Jinlei, and Shui Bei landed perfectly on the target and caused a devastating blow. The 3 of them were dumbfounded. He couldn't help but look at Shen Junwu. In this case, it must be a hard control of mental abilities. Can the 3rd level achieve this level? Dunan was even more shocked. As a wood-type superpower, he takes a control route, but his control power is not as much as that of Shen Junwu. Kill, kill, kill. As soon as the move was successful, Feng Fanyu, Che Jinlei, and Shui Bei shouted loudly, and all flew out to deal fatal attacks to these beasts. Cao Tianyu and Dunan cooperated in time. After 10 breaths, the road was opened, but everyone's expressions became extremely nervous. Because suddenly there were dense, high-pitched, and terrifying wolf howls all around the wilderness. Stop the car, we can't walk. Shen Junwu sighed without surprise. Why can't you leave? Go quickly. Go quickly. Don't stop. Lulu was so frightened by the howling of wolves that she turned pale and frightened, urging, the wolves haven't come yet, drive quickly. Idiot, you know how to use a hammer. Shen Junwu turned around and glared. Do you really think that everything we experienced was a normal attack by alien beasts? As soon as these words came out, even Feng Sanyu is confused, isn't it? Don't look at me like that, I'm not kidding. Shen Junwu waved his hand. Brother La, have a cigarette. Che Jinlei said nothing. He took out a pack of Wazi from his trouser pocket, took out one and pointed it at Shen Junwu, then he snapped his fingers and lit the smoke in the air with lightning. Handsome. Shen Junwu gave a thumbs up and then waited motionless. Lit Wazi. It automatically flew to Shen Junwu's mouth and spoke. How long has it been? Who of you two can be more handsome? Feng Fanyu almost died of anger. Shen Junwu, what's going on? What's going on? Shen Junwu blew out a smoke ring and said lightly, shouldn't I ask you? Ask me. If Feng Sanyu wants to be clear, will she ask? Shen Jun said nothing. He took out the cloud-breaking sword and cut open the stomachs of each of them to get the spirit beads. When Shen Junwu came to the Buffalo King, he found that the Buffalo King was still breathing. This made him very happy, so he chopped off its neck with one knife. A puff of a knife. The system prompts to stand up. Congratulations to the host for killing the 4th level Buffalo King and obtaining a new entry. Bullish rare. Fighting to the death rare. Bull Demon Powerful Fist epic. Shen Junwu was overjoyed that he actually discovered a martial arts skill that could be directly applied to martial arts. He quickly said, System, add the Bull Demon Powerful Fist. Bite. The host successfully added a new entry, Bull Demon Powerful Fist epic. This entry is a martial arts skill. When used by the host, it can explode with the impact power of the 4th level Buffalo King. This entry is so wonderful, I like it so much. Shen Junwu became more confident. You little money man, stop digging for spiritual beads. Cao Tianyu walked towards Shen Junwu and whispered, with the wolves on the side, the situation will become more and more dangerous. You see, the morale of the team is not high and they are almost discouraged. Let's think of a way. This is our burial place. With a twist of his wrist, Shen Junwu quickly removed the Buffalo King's big leg and threw it towards Feng Sanskrit. Captain Feng, make a fire to roast the leg. Boy, I'm talking to you. Cao Tianyu was furious. The wolves will attack at any time, are you still in the mood to barbecue? No way. Shen Junwu patted Cao Tianyu. I understand, the wolves are controlled. The reason why they haven't attacked yet is to intimidate us and then attack in one fell swoop after exhausting our energy. Quote. The therapist beauty, Yan Jingjing, suddenly understood and stepped forward. Clever. Shen Junwu gave her a thumbs up. It's time to eat and drink. Perhaps. This will be our last meal. Poor me, I'm still a virgin. Woodchuck, you big fat guy, have you ever experienced that? How do you feel? Tell me about it. Cao Tianyu's face fell instantly, and his head was covered with black lines. What a beast. At this time, you still want a woman. According to your idea, if a woman is willing, do you really have to have love with her? Hey, what are you doing standing still? Shen Junwu glanced at it. Move all. Do you really want to die? Do you really want to die? Everyone regained their spirits, and the daily necessities carried in the car were moved down one after another. Feng Sanyu also honestly lit the fire and grilled the meat. After digging out all the 4th level spirit beads, Shen Junwu walked to the fire and sat down, taking out a piece of golden scale jiao to suck blood. What the hell do you still have? Cao Tianyu's eyes flashed with gold, and he immediately came over. You little fool, give me a bite. Why? Shen Junwu rolled his eyes. What the hell, you are such a beast, why do you think so? Cao Tianyu fired directly. Where is my legendary, cloud-breaking sword? Didn't you already send it to me? Shen Junwu replied seriously. I am a very disciplined person, and I follow the rules. If you want the flesh and blood of the golden scale jiao, you can buy it with money. For the sake of my teammates, 10,000 yuan per pound. Quote. Cao Tianyu was furious, secretly telling myself, I will bear with you, I will bear with you. But after enduring it for a long time, he was still unconvinced. You are so crazy about money. You said it yourself, this is our burial ground, what's the use of money? You don't understand. This is called life. Shen Junwu explained seriously. As long as you are not dead, no matter where you are, it is life. Sleep is life. Adventure is life. Since it is life, it must have corresponding value. Both monetary value and emotional value must be there. You rich people, who were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, do you know what life is? You are awesome. If I don't die, I will give you one. Quote. Cao Tianyu really wanted to give this fool a hard time. Toughness of mind. Mount Tai collapsed in front of him, but his face did not change. Because of his remarks, the nervousness of the team members was greatly relieved. Rogue talk. Bullshit language. In fact, they are all about relieving mental stress, increasing confidence, and stimulating the desire to survive. A born leader. I really underestimated his bad mouth. It may seem out of place, but it actually covers everything. In his life, Cao Tianyu has seen many talented and tough-minded geniuses. Compared with Shen Junwu, he was extremely weak. He and Feng Fanyu went into the wilderness many times to fight with strange beasts. He was considered an elite in all battles, and his character was not comparable to that of Shen Junwu. Be open-minded and cheerful. Bold and calm. Life and death cannot overwhelm you, and you have nothing to fear. 10,011 pounds, I want 10 pounds. Che Jinlei said coldly. Bring me your mobile phone and transfer the money immediately. Brother Yan, I'm sorry. The purchase limit is 1 pound per person, and any excess will not be sold. Quote. Shen Junwu shook his head. What kind of international joke are you kidding? He doesn't have much meat left in his golden scale jiao, so how can he be willing to sell it? The reason why Cao Tianyu agreed was that he wanted them to use the flesh and blood of the golden scale jiao to restore their physical strength and skills so that they could cope with the fierce battle that followed. The flesh and blood of the Buffalo King actually has this effect, but the effect is much different. Che Jinlei has nothing to say. Transfer money one by one. The driver also bought a copy. There were over 100,000 people in Shen Junwu's WeChat account instantly. In this era when life is thinner than paper, and countless people's assets have shrunk by 99%, or even their entire life's wealth is destroyed, the amount of tens of thousands of yuan is not a small amount. It can be called a 10,000 yuan household. I want it too. Seeing everyone buying it, Lulu also wanted to join in the fun. You buy an egg. Shen Junwu glared. You are a burden, don't you know? Lulu couldn't buy it with money, and her chest was filled with anger. You're a hammer. If it weren't for you, would we have any need for chariots? Shen Junwu criticized unceremoniously. We go into battle lightly and sneak on our way. Even if people want to plot against us, they won't be surrounded so easily. HMPH. Lulu was so angry that she threw herself into the car. Cao Tianyu was stunned for a moment, then curiously asked in a low voice, Hey, Brother Shen, do you know what this woman does? Why do you hate her so much? With your rogue character, you won't be able to do that. Shen Junwu smiled and stretched out his hand. What's the meaning? Cao Tianyu was puzzled. Give me money. Shen Junwu rolled his eyes. Is it free to buy information? You are an animal, not a human being. Cao Tianyu had already added Shen Junwu's WeChat account, gritting his teeth and transferring 10,000 yuan. You are rich and unkind. Shen Junwu fought back with a smile, and then whispered, her name is Lulu, and she is a social butterfly who was specially trained by others. This time when she went to Tianan City, it was Jin who was behind it and pushed her to the front of the screen to become a star. As for its function, you know it. Cao Tianyu's face turned green. I know how to use a hammer, this 10,000 yuan is such a loss. He also thought that this woman was the lover of some adult. Result. What a loss. What a profiteer. Can this cost him 10,000 yuan? Ouch, ouch, ouch. At this moment, the wolves suddenly howled. Get off. Bring water and break out. Shen Junwu's expression changed and he immediately shouted loudly. What did you say? Abandon the car. Lulu's face changed drastically, and she was extremely reluctant. You can stay here with Chariot. As Shen Junwu spoke, he immediately climbed onto the car and put all the water in the car into the space ring. In the wilderness, there are strange animals everywhere, and they will never die of hunger. But he will die of thirst. Affected by the resurgence of spiritual energy and the pollution of alien beasts, the water resources in the wilderness cannot be used at all. They are either contaminated by dirty bacteria or poisonous. Abandon the car. Feng Fanyu glared hard and made the final decision. The wolves attack. If you don't abandon the car, you will be bitten. Abandon the car and travel. Relying on the territorial awareness of other animals, you may be able to survive in the cracks. Che Jinlei and I opened the way, and Cao Tianyu followed behind. Shui Bei and Dunan fought on the left and right sides, with Shen Junwu in the middle to dispatch and support. The three drivers were in the center to protect Lulu and Yan Qingqing. Quote. Assemble quickly. Feng Sanyu immediately formed his troops. Great war, on the verge of breaking out. The wolves are all at the 4th level, and they are ferocious and fast races. The situation is very bad. Fortunately, the wolves' defense is not high. Feng Fanyu took the lead, and even the large number of wolves could not stop her animal transformation type, Phoenix. Every time she made a move, the phantom of the phoenix appeared, also accompanied by the cry of the phoenix. It can greatly deter and suppress strange beasts. Shen Junwu did not take action. If you have the chance, disembowel the dead wolf and collect a spiritual bead. This can't go on like this. There are too many wolves and they are in hot pursuit, trying to eat us to death. Quote. After many attempts to break out failed, Feng Fanyu spoke loudly, the Wolf King must be found and killed before we can break out. Hey, this guy, it's not good to be too good. Shen Junwu let out a long sigh. Other than brother, who else is qualified for this kind of task? You. Everyone looked at Shen Junwu. It seems that if you don't know what state you are in, how can you kill the 4th level Wolf King? Haha, brother, let's go. Shen Junwu did not explain. He glanced towards the left front and jumped out of the camp. With a rare level long sword in his left hand and a legendary level cloud-breaking sword in his right hand, both swords slashed, and the 4th level wolves were constantly being killed. The fighting power is terrifying. The power is amazing. The pace is exquisite. Everyone was shocked. You told me this is the 3rd level. Is there such a strong 3rd level? This pervert. It has only been a few days, but it has become so powerful. Cao Tianyu had seen how powerful Shen Junwu was, and now he was even more ferocious. That's it. He was suddenly startled. Captain, something is wrong. When Shen Junwu went out to kill him, why didn't the wolves pay attention to him? He went to kill the Wolf King. Aren't the wolves supposed to entertain distinguished guests warmly? Why are they still besieging us like crazy? Feng Sanyu has been discovered. He looked unhappy. It was obvious that these wolves had a target. Shen Junwu guessed right, there was a mastermind behind all these encounters. The target is none other than her. At this time, in the direction of Shen Junwu's sudden advance, a huge red-eyed Wolf King slowly appeared. On the Wolf King's back sat a girl wearing red makeup and holding a bone flute. How could there be someone on the Wolf King's back? Lulu, who was protected in the center, let out an incredible exclamation. Alien beasts feed on humans. Naturally hostile. Till death. This scene went beyond the cognition of ordinary people, and even Che Jinlei and the other 4 were shocked. But Feng Sanyu, Cao Tianyu was not surprised. The bone flute girl waved lightly, and the wolves blocking Shen Junwu's steps immediately retreated. Then she looked at Shen Junwu and said, "Hello, Mr. Shen." Senior Yang Kongshuan's vision is indeed extraordinary. Not only do you have extraordinary talents, but you also have an unimaginable understanding of the wilderness. My little sister admires you. Quote. The little sister is so cute. But you are not so cute when you sit on the back of the Wolf King, and you are very nervous. Quote. Shen Junwu smiled slightly, then suddenly stood up and said, I only say one word, Feng Sanyu, I'm guaranteed to be safe. Why should Mr. Shen be stubborn? When the fog comes, my little sister has given you a chance, but you are not sure, so you have to help them break out of the fog. The bone flute girl said helplessly. Senior Yang Kongshuan is very strong, so strong that this little girl dare not touch you, but he only has a few years to live. Why do you need to make enemies because of a woman who is destined to have no feelings? As long as you are willing to leave, I guarantee that Mr. Shen will be safe and sound and leave safely. Actually, I want to leave. Shen Junwu answered honestly. Why don't you leave? The bone flute girl was quite surprised. I have a bad habit. I like pure and beautiful girls, and I also like to challenge the limits. Quote. Shen Junwu grinned. As you said, Feng Fanyu is destined not to have feelings, so, I want to challenge him even more. It must be a great feeling to conquer a woman who has no feelings. This is called a hobby. You like riding wolves, and I like riding phoenixes. Hear this. Feng Fanyu's face turned green. When he talks about riding a phoenix, he must be referring to himself. The little fool has been having an affair with Miss Lin, but he still wants to hook up with her. What a courage. Your hobbies are not very good. She is a rose with thorns. Even if Mr. Yang Kongshuan protects you, you have no chance. The bone flute girl's face gradually became serious. That's why it's called a challenge. Shen Junwu's blade flashed and he stepped out immediately. Stubborn. The bone flute girl's face turned cold, she slowly jumped off the wolf's back, and patted it gently. Xiao Hong, go. Ouch! The fourth-level Wolf King roared loudly and immediately rushed towards Shen Junwu. Extreme speed impact. Jump up. The front paws of the Wolf King seemed to cut through the air, making a harsh whistling sound. The speed is so fast that it is dizzying. It appeared above Shen Junwu's head in an instant. Fang Fanyu was angry at Shen Junwu's debauchery, but she didn't want anything to happen to him, so she immediately shouted, Tianyu, go save him. Cao Tianyu was also worried. But when he was about to escape, several elite wolves attacked fiercely and did not give him a chance to escape. The next second, Shen Junwu was thrown to the ground by the Wolf King. However, Shen Junwu's two swords blocked the front paws of the Wolf King, so he was fine for the time being. Hold on, Cao Tianyu said anxiously. Brother, I will free my hands and come to save you immediately. You must not die. Otherwise, Mr. Yang Kongshuan, I'm afraid that my Shenbing Villa will be demolished, please. Die. Shen Junwu smiled disdainfully. If he died like this, he would not leave the camp and lead to the Wolf King and the mastermind behind it. Now, the Wolf King seemed ferocious and pressed Shen Junwu to the ground, but he didn't even catch a hair of Shen Junwu. No matter how it bites or captures, Shen Junwu can dodge perfectly. His back seems to have grown legs. He can move quickly and avoid while being suppressed. This move is called Dragon Snake Walk Epic. It is an entry obtained after killing the storm-winged python. Like a snake, it can use its spine to exert force to make its body swim. Show the enemy weakness. The Wolf King and the Bone Flute Girl were both confused. Shen Junwu quickly seized the opportunity, swung his body suddenly, and instantly passed through the Wolf King's abdomen and appeared behind its butt. Before he got up, Shen Junwu's long knife suddenly thrust back, and the tip of the knife instantly pierced the Wolf King's buttocks, causing the Wolf King to scream in pain. The next second, Shen Junwu rose into the air and slashed down with the Poyun sword. A rumble of a knife. The second half of the Wolf King's body was divided into two parts with a knife, and he was too dead to die. No, the Bone Flute Girl was unexpected. After exclaiming in pain, a mouthful of blood spurted out. PFFT. The Wolf King dies. The wolves became feral, and some even attacked the Bone Flute Girl. The Bone Flute Girl was shocked. She quickly retreated and played the bone flute, but it had little effect. There were still some wolves with fierce looks in their eyes, wanting to tear her apart. No more Wolf King to rule. The unruly elite wolves all had their own ideas and immediately left the battlefield with some ordinary wolves. Bite. Congratulations to the host for killing the 4th level, Wolf King, and obtaining a new entry. Extraordinary sense of smell, rare. Extraordinary hearing, rare. Call hunt, epic. The ruler of kings, epic. Shen Junwu was startled. The first 3 entries were easy to understand. The 4th king rules, what the hell? A skill that can control wolves. If so, that's abnormal. Shen Junwudang immediately said, System, add. Bite. Congratulations to the host for successfully adding an entry and obtaining the 4th level, Wolf King, sense of smell, hearing, hunting ability, and the Wolf King's ability to rule the wolf pack. It's true, Shen Junwu was so happy that he wanted to try it immediately, but he couldn't. People want to live long. Not only must you have a trump card, but you must also be cautious. The entry was added successfully. Shen Junwu's eyes flashed and immediately locked onto the Bone Flute Girl. The Wolf King was killed. As the master, she was implicated in the backlash, so it was a good time to capture her. Shen Junwu, I underestimate you. The Bone Flute Girl sensed Shen Junwu's murderous intention and immediately became furious. Make fists with both hands. Neck twisting. A ferocious giant wolf glowing with divine starlight slowly appeared behind the Bone Flute Girl. It's the girl's beast-like ability, Sirius. As soon as Sirius comes out, the wolves immediately felt the pressure and fled in all directions. Sirius Meteor. The Bone Flute Girl roared. Sirius looked up to the sky and roared, then launched an extremely dense and powerful starlight attack, covering Shen Junwu, Fang Fanyu and others. Indiscriminate attack. When everyone resisted, a strange fog quickly enveloped the area, and the visibility was only 3 meters in an instant. Cover your mouth and nose. Shen Junwu roared and quickly returned to the camp, using mental detection to guard against sneak attacks. After a long time, There were no sneak attackers. The strange fog gradually disappeared, and everyone took a big breath and gasped. But there was an accident, Lulu. She is an ordinary person. She held her breath for too short a time and inhaled too much poisonous mist, causing hallucinations and dancing in the field. Don't tell me yet. This woman is truly a professional. The beautiful posture and seductive dance make people stare intently. Especially Cao Tianyu. What the heck, it actually leaked out. While everyone was watching in fascination, Lulu became even more forgetful. Her shawl was torn off by her, revealing her snow-white shoulders. Immediately afterwards, the movements were bolder and more voluptuous, and she even started to take off her clothes. I'm going. Cao Tianyu seemed to realize that he was losing his temper, so he rushed forward and hugged Lulu to prevent her from taking off all her clothes. Immediately, he quickly asked Shen Junwu for help. What should I do? That's it. Shen Junwu smiled slightly. When the poisonous mist slowly dissipates, she will wake up from the hallucination. What? Cao Tianyu blushed. I'm just going to hold her like this. Isn't this what you want? Shen Junwu didn't even want to expose him. Look at your herezi. Cao Tianyu glared at Shen Junwu with an embarrassed laugh. Is your sister the only one who understands me? Shen Junwu, let's talk. Feng Fanyu was not in the mood to care about anything else and looked at Shen Junwu solemnly. Shen Junwu trembled in fright. He backed away repeatedly and explained, Captain Feng, Miss Feng, I was wrong. The nonsense I just said was to confuse the bone flute girl. I didn't have that intention. You believe me. Hear the words. Feng Fanyu suddenly felt a little uncomfortable, a little disappointed, and feeling lost. This thought shocked her. After getting rid of the negative emotions, he said solemnly, that's not what I meant. I want to tell you about the Beast Soul Palace. This is the action of the Beast Soul Palace against her. Things are getting more complicated. The road ahead becomes increasingly dangerous. She needed to have a good talk with Shen Junwu. Oh. Shen Junwu breathed a sigh of relief. He was really afraid that Feng Fanyu would hit him. This woman. Not only did he awaken the mythical beast Phoenix, he also inherited the Phoenix's cannon temper. Usually few words. It's terrible when you're really angry, and you really want to hit someone, and beat them to death. The two walked aside. Feng Fanyu said nothing, but stared at Shen Junwu strangely. Shen Junwu was stared at so much that goosebumps arose. He suddenly took a step back and clasped his hands. Hey, don't you have any thoughts about me? Think about it, brother. What did you say? The corners of Feng Fanyu's mouth trembled. Well, my idea is actually nothing. Brother knows that he is very handsome and charming, and he is very attractive to women like you. Quote. Shen Junwu was still afraid, so he shrank his neck and said, but I'm not that casual. I like to take things slow. Why don't you die? Feng Fan's tone made him clench his fists. But she finally endured it and said bluntly without wanting to argue. With your education and experience, it seems impossible that you know about the Beast Soul Palace. Look, you look down on people. Shen Junwu had known that she would ask this question, so he smiled and said, have you forgotten who my master is? Feng Fanyu was stunned for a moment. If it was Senior Yang Kongshuan who said it, it wouldn't be surprising. Only, Feng Fanyu's intuition is not like this. He always feels a little weird, but he can't grasp it. I couldn't figure it out, so I didn't think much about it. He immediately said, judging from today's situation, when we were attacked by the Storm-Winged Dragon, we fell into the scheme of the members of the Beast Soul Palace. In other words, the key criminal we need to hunt down has already formed an alliance with the Beast Soul Palace. Perhaps, it is a joint action between two major forces. Quote. Shen Junwu nodded. It was very possible. Beast Soul Palace. 3 major cult organizations were born after the spiritual energy of the Dragon Kingdom was revived. It has a long history. Dating back hundreds of years, it has always been a cancer that the Dragon Kingdom wants to eradicate. The master of his palace is extremely powerful and elusive. His identity is a mystery, and his strength is very terrifying. Shen Junwu didn't know much about him. All I know is that this person has awakened the ability to transform into beasts, and developed the ability to control strange beasts with his ability to transform into beasts. He has been recruiting and arresting people with beastly powers all over the country. Feng Sanyu is one of their targets. After pondering, Shen Junwu solemnly said, I know your mission is a military secret, and I shouldn't know. But I want to ask, do you have to complete the task? Feng Fanyu said without any hesitation. It must be completed, and the lost items must be recovered. So, I want you to help me. In the last sentence, Feng Sanyu was almost praying. Shen Junwu's abilities were too strong and his methods were so clever that she had never seen him before. Especially the ability to kill the Wolf King and resist the thunder in Che Jinlei's palm, she couldn't see through at all. This is a fatal move. Shen Junwu rolled his eyes. What's the benefit of me helping you? You say. Feng Fanyu solemnly promised. As long as I can do it, I will definitely agree. It can be done. It's definitely possible, and it's easy. Quote. Shen Junwu grinned evilly and lowered his voice a little. I'll help you complete the task, just let me kiss you. Creak. The sound of teeth clenching resounded, and Feng Fanyu was instantly petrified. Just a joke. Don't be angry. Just a joke. Shen Junwu stood on his head and ran away. He was really joking, deliberately teasing her. Feng Fanyu endured too much, and the mental pressure was too great, which was not helpful for practice. A top talent like her. After 3 years of college graduation, one should be able to break through to the 5th level of Martial King Realm. But she has been stuck in the 4th level of Wuzong Realm, and cannot break through. Cultivation level exceeds the 3rd level. It is not possible to break through by relying on the spiritual beads, it requires the understanding of the realm. Martial arts, superpowers, all the same. If she doesn't relax and put aside the pressure from her family, she will never be able to break through. After a long time, Feng Fanyu then came back and said calmly and coldly, from now on, until crossing the God Burial Stream, everything will follow Shen Junwu's command. This time, no one had any objections. Yan Qingqing, a therapist with low combat effectiveness, excitedly gave Shen Junwu a thumbs up. Ahem, I don't have any objections, so I'll give the order. Shen Junwu cleared his throat. Return to the avenue and station yourself on the spot. Everyone was puzzled. Due to Shen Junwu's excellent performance before, he didn't openly ask questions, but just looked at Feng Fanyu. Feng Fanyu didn't answer. The first one walked back to the road and personally arranged the camp defense. The strongest people were like this. If they had any other opinions, they immediately got busy. Brother La, please stop busy. Shen Junwu stopped Che Jinlei. Your mission is to strike me with lightning, let's get started. Come again. Che Jinlei's face twitched. Don't you think he's embarrassed enough? Want to rub his dignity on the ground? Brother La, don't be so stingy. We are now not only teammates, but also grasshoppers on the same rope, sharing life and death. Quote. Shen Junwu said seriously. As I become stronger, the strength of the entire team will also increase. What the hell? Che Jinlei exclaimed. You mean, you can borrow the power of thunder to practice? What if? Shen Junwu rolled his eyes as if looking at a fool. You think I'm a masochist? Dead pervert. Che Jinlei was completely convinced. Brother. Shen Junwu scolded back and continued. Beauty Qingqing, please treat us every 10 minutes. Good. Yan Qingqing agreed with a slight blush on her cheeks. Healing techniques, while treating, can restore a certain amount of mental and physical strength to the person being treated. It can be seen from this. Shen Junwu knew the abilities of each department very well, unlike a recent high school graduate. Night gradually fell. Because of the previous battle, no strange beasts dared to approach the station, and no one from the Beast Soul Hall returned with their carbines. Che Jinlei's thunder power was exhausted. Although Shen Junwu's martial arts cultivation failed to break through the 4th level, his physique and meridians were severely tempered. Especially the meridians. Shen Junwu used the power of swallowing all things to harden the chain and expand it. The power of martial arts today is more than 10 times more powerful than the 3rd level in the previous life, and the endurance is greatly improved. Until midnight, the starlight in the sky is blocked by dark clouds, and there is a tendency of rain. It's time to sneak. Shen Junwu knocked on the car doors one by one. Don't even sleep, pack your things, abandon the car and drive on. Are you crazy? Lulu was awakened from her sweet dream. When she got up, she was so angry. How can I hurry up if I can't see my fingers? I'll explain it to you one last time. With strong enemies peeking in and strange beasts blocking the road, continuing to travel in a convoy is a dead end, so we must abandon the vehicle and walk on foot, is it clear? Shen Junwu suppressed his anger and warned. That. She's right, it's too dark today and it might rain. Isn't it too difficult to hike? Yan Qingqing is a woman and has some sympathy for Lulu. I don't know why, but Shen Junwu was very kind to her and Feng Fanyu. He was always smiling, but he was as cold as iron to Lulu. Like an enemy. Hey, you can't see it, but I can. Shen Junwu's attitude changed instantly. If you are afraid, I can carry you on my back for free. Lulu was furious. They are both women, and she is much more beautiful than Yan Qingqing. Why can't she be gentler? Just because she is an ordinary person. Is it a burden to the team? Do you dislike it or hate it? Chapter 31. Yan Qingqing blushed instantly. I feel like a group favorite. Che Jinlei, Shui Bei, and Dunan took good care of her, and Feng Fanyu also took good care of her. Shen Junwu is even willing to carry her on his back, which is great. Qingqing, don't believe him. Cao Tianyu smiled evilly and approached. This fool is not a good person. He wants to take advantage of you and touch your butt. You're a groundhog, you're a fat man, you're a thief. Shen Junwu was furious and kicked him on the butt. Don't think I didn't see you hooking up with Lulu. Alright, Feng Fanyu valued Shen Junwu very much. He was good at everything, but he was annoying because of his foul mouth. He interrupted the two people's play and said solemnly, Shen Junwu, sneaking in the dark is a good way to get rid of the enemy, but it is very limited. Are you sure? Certainly. Shen Junwu waved his hand gently, and the mental detection was activated immediately. Immediately, the mental power was divided into several channels and passed into the minds of Feng Fanyu, Cao Tianyu, Che Jinlei and others. Everyone was shocked. Is this okay? How can spiritual powers be used in this way? Set off. Shen Junwu did not explain. This is an ability derived from spiritual detection, after he specifically searched for 3 spiritual beads to absorb them for this mission. Call it spiritual sharing. Under the sharing of spirit, they can see everything Shen Junwu sees, and the night is like day, passing silently. The next day, heavy fog broke out at the convoy camp left by Shen Junwu and others. Wider coverage area and lower visibility. At the same time, there were wolves howling. Sitting on the top of a mountain, a girl holding a bone flute stood with a cold expression, and behind her stood 3 young men, all of whom had the ferocious and bloodthirsty aura of alien beasts. No, something's wrong. After a long time, a thin young man who kept chanting was shocked. There is no one in the camp. What? The bone flute girl was angry. The bone flute sounded, and the wolves immediately rushed into the camp, and sure enough, no target was captured. What a good Shen Junwu, what a method. No wonder you were able to be accepted as the successor by Senior Yang Kongshuan with your spiritual powers. You are really capable. I underestimated you again. However, you can't escape. The Phoenix girl is destined to join the Beast Soul Palace, for sure. The bone flute girl's anger quickly turned into interest. A kind of interest in fighting against Shen Junwu. Other side, Shen Junwu and his party, using the cover of night to sneak in, were very close to the Varying God Stream, only about 10 kilometers away. Reaching this distance, the nearby environment becomes strange, and there are often terrifying sounds of ghosts crying and wolves howling. In the jungle, above the road, there is a kind of dark air that is so cold that it makes people's souls tremble. Brother Junwu, I'm scared. Yan Qingqing followed Shen Junwu and couldn't help but grab Shen Junwu's arm. Come all the way. Yan Qingqing is very convinced and attached to Shen Junwu. Even if she is 3 years older than Shen Junwu, she is still willing to call her brother. He is obviously a high school graduate, but it gives her a feeling of omniscience and omnipotence. Her experience far exceeds that of Feng Fanyu, and she has completely become the backbone of this team. Don't be afraid, brother is here. Shen Junwu patted her arm. Looking back, I found that Lulu wished she could get into Cao Tianyu's belly and make Cao Thief so beautiful that she would burst into tears. Stop. At this time, Feng Fanyu found something on the roadside and ran over in a hurry. After careful confirmation, Feng Fanyu smiled for the first time and said quickly, It's Xiaoyao, she's still alive. Very good. Cao Tianyu walked over in surprise. After looking carefully, he said, Captain, the code Xiaoyao left points to the front. Good. Feng Fanyu nodded, worried again. The front is the God burial stream. Has she already entered? Xiaoyao is good at tracking. Cao Tianyu also turned from joy to worry. If she discovers traces of the wanted criminal, she might really end up in the God burial stream. Full speed ahead. Shen Junwu immediately gave the order. There is almost no danger in the 10 kilometers around Shenshen stream, because no strange beast dares to stay alive. En route, Feng Fanyu found another mark left by the team members, pointing to the God-burying stream. On arrival, everyone's footsteps stopped heavily, and they even couldn't help but take a few steps back. An inexplicable desire to die enveloped their hearts and lingered. He didn't even dare to look up at the entrance of the burying God stream. Shen Junwu didn't care. When he came here in his previous life, it was already 10 years later. The entrance to the God-burying stream, at this moment was the same as in his previous life, without any difference. This stream seems to have been cut by an immortal sword, dividing a towering mountain range into two. Entrance shape. Like a huge tombstone with a passage dug out from the center, it looks ferocious, gloomy and bloody. No life, no plants. It can be described as the entrance to a ghost realm. No, I don't want to go. I want to go back. I want to go back. Send me back quickly. Lulu took a sneak peek and broke down emotionally on the spot, bursting into tears. Shut up. Cao Tianyu hurriedly covered her mouth to prevent her from making any sound. Feng Fanyu's face was solemn. A secret mark at the entrance showed that her team members had entered the God-burying stream. Shen Junwu, I want to go in. Feng Fanyu came to Shen Junwu with a solemn expression. My master once said that the only way to pass the God-burying stream is to go quickly and never look back. Quote. Shen Junwu warned everyone with a tiger's skin. Remember, not only do you have to be fast, but you must never look back. No matter what voice you hear or what call you hear, you can't look back. Because, if you look back, you will die, you will die, you will die. 3 blasts will lead to death. Everyone present was trembling. On the way, if there is a sudden movement behind you, you will be unable to control your head and turn around to determine whether there is any danger behind you. This is instinct and human nature. It doesn't mean you won't look back just because you don't look back. I'm giving you one last warning. Shen Junwu glanced at everyone. You must never look back, otherwise you will die. Aha! Everyone looked at each other and finally nodded heavily. One more thing, remember. Shen Junwu continued to warn. You must listen to my command. If I tell you to run, run. If I tell you to stop, stop. And if I tell you to crawl, get down immediately. Even if there is a knife in front of you in an endless sea of fire, you must get down immediately. Do you hear me clearly? Aha! Everyone responded one after another. Eat in 3 minutes and rehydrate. Shen Junwu softened his tone. Then, throw away everything that will affect your actions. Lulu was forced to calm down. I had to pour dry food and water into my mouth. 3 minutes later, everyone is ready, except for weapons, everything is discarded. 3, 2, 1, run. Shen Junwu pulled Yan Qingqing, and after counting 3 times, he rushed into the God burial stream with a single stride. Rush quickly. With the howling wind beside my ears, coupled with the roaring sound in the mountain stream, the whole person is in a world of monsters and monsters. Cold, gloomy, dark. In the mountain stream, on the uneven rock walls on both sides, with my peripheral vision, there seemed to be countless ghost faces and skeletons inlaid on the rock walls. It gives people a kind of visual horror. My feet couldn't help but feel weak. After a few minutes, everyone felt that there were all kinds of strange roars, whines, and sounds from behind. Terror struck straight into my heart. I want to look back and see clearly, so I feel at ease. Don't look back, Shen Junwu immediately shouted loudly. Only then did everyone wake up and pluck up the courage to continue running. That's it. Shen Junwu suddenly sensed something and yelled in panic, "Get out of the way, quickly!" During the roar, Shen Junwu took a step to the left and suddenly pulled Yan Qingqing into his arms. The next second, a strong wind roared down from the top of the mountain stream, and the violent sound of breaking through the air resounded, causing everyone's ears to briefly roar. Ah! A howl resounded. A driver who was last in the group could not avoid it and watched helplessly as the terrible strong wind hit him. A wail. Rumble stood up. The driver who couldn't avoid it instantly turned into blood mist and was swept away by the strong wind. A living person. In an instant, there were no bones left, as if he had never been in this world, leaving no trace. From the corner of their eyes, everyone not only saw his dead state, but also saw the ghostly face in the rock wall behind him. The skeleton came to life and was breaking free. "Don't look back," Shen Junwu shouted fiercely and turned their heads around with his mental power. "Keep running. This is the burial god abyss. A dangerous place that claims to be able to bury the city of gods. In the previous life, there was a martial saint who explored the god burial abyss and died in it. Can you imagine the danger? Rush, continue. Everyone's perception is getting weirder and weirder. Some hear people calling for help, some hear brutal fighting, and some hear wailing from hell. In the mountain stream, it seems that countless creatures have been buried and turned into undead." "No, it won't." Feng Fanyu followed Shen Junwu's footsteps, showing a tangled, sad, and doubtful voice. She actually heard Xiaoyao's cry for help. "Captain, save me, save me. Captain, please help me, I'm going to be swallowed up by them. Captain, I feel pain and I don't want to die. Captain, I'm right behind you, look back at me, look at me. It hurts me so much." Cries for help, sounds of wailing. It was so real and real that Feng Fanyu's expression gradually turned pale and his mood gradually collapsed. She couldn't leave the team behind. She couldn't leave Xiaoyao behind. She wanted to turn back. She wanted to go back and save Xiaoyao, even if she died. Driven by a strong sense of justice, responsibility, and guilt, Feng Sanyu slowed down and started to look back. With just one glance, Feng Fanyu saw countless ferocious faces, and countless skeleton armies instantly overwhelmed her, biting her crazily, making her miserable. The whole person is sinking, unable to break free or climb out. In extremely critical times, a big hand suddenly stretched out and pulled her out of the drowned-biting force. Thoughts turn. The person she saw was Shen Junwu, glaring at her with squinting eyes. The other hand grabbed her wrist and ran wildly. Only then did Feng Fanyu understand that when he looked back in the god burial abyss, he would see a terrifying illusion that would make people sink forever. If Shen Junwu hadn't caught her in time and pulled her out of the illusion, she would have collapsed and died. "Get down." At this moment, Shen Junwu's earlobe suddenly moved. It was the hearing and smell of the Wolf King that sensed a new wave of danger coming. When shouting angrily, Shen Junwu pushed Yan Qingqing to the ground. Just when he was about to lie down, he suddenly realized that Feng Fanyu had not fully woken up from the illusion of looking back. As a last resort, Shen Junwu suddenly pulled her down with force, and then quickly threw her to the ground. The next second, a mass of black terror swept in from the mountain stream ahead, so dense that there was no room for it. It can only be avoided by lying down. Behind him, there was a driver who didn't have time to react and was taken away instantly. The one who climbed down in time. I felt that dark mass whizzing past my head and making an extremely sharp and harsh cry. Peripheral vision perception. It's a bat, a kind of bat that has never been seen before, with extremely sharp feet. Che Jinlei, who was a little behind Shen Junwu, felt a burst of blood. He raised his eyes slightly and saw that Shen Junwu's back was scratched by bats whizzing by. Feng Fanyu was knocked down by Shen Junwu and pinned underneath him. Therefore, his back was higher than the average person, so he was scratched by the bat's claws. Feng Sanyu also saw it. Tears rolled down uncontrollably. From childhood to adulthood, she has always been the one protecting others, sacrificing for others, and blocking harm. But this time, someone else was protecting her. It's a man I've only known for 2 days. The dense bat claws were so dense that it was impossible to estimate their number. With such huge and dense damage, Shen Junwu didn't even groan. 1 minute later, the bat swarm finally passed. Shen Junwu struggled several times before finally getting up. Mauler Gobi. What a terrifying dark bat monster. I got the armor entry from the iron-backed lizard. Even the steel armor rare can't resist it. Fortunately, the steel armor still had some effect, but it only caused superficial injuries. Qingqing, hurry up. Feng Fanyu stood up and called anxiously. Yan Qingqing didn't dare to delay and immediately used the healing technique to treat, remove poison and stop bleeding. After healing, Shen Junwu tore off his backless clothes and gave instructions while being shirtless. Keep going, remember to obey the command, and remember not to look back. Perhaps there is no way forward or retreat, no choice, and everyone's fear has weakened a lot. The next journey. Although I occasionally encounter the terrifying strong wind, I always avoid it in time. 2 hours later, the team has gone deep into the God Burial Abyss, and the environment has actually become warmer. Not only are there plants and trees growing in the stream, they are also very lush, and the spiritual energy is also extremely strong. This situation, it was different from what Shen Junwu had seen in his previous life. When he came here, the burial god abyss was lifeless. It seems, in 10 years, great things happened. Perhaps, the key criminal pursued by Feng Fanyu and others really entered the god burial abyss. Slow down and be careful. The current situation is different from that in the previous life. Shen Junwu can only move slowly one step at a time, while fully turning on his spiritual detection. There are 2 levels of mental detection. One is night vision, which can see things at night. One is deeper detection, which can break through the obstruction of objects and can see clearly even 30 meters underground. What? This. After walking for about half an hour, Shen Junwu's mental power penetrated a layer of rock wall and discovered that there was a secret realm rich in vitality. This secret realm is different from the secret realm of Kenyan Middle School's martial arts college entrance examination. It is a natural secret. In other words, it is a legacy from ancient times. The secret realm of Kenyan Middle School's martial arts college entrance examination is a secret realm created by strong humans using extraordinary weapons and raising exotic beasts according to the environment. Innate secret realm, an unfavorable fate, can be met but not sought. The Shenwu spiritual bone that allowed Shen Junwu to rise was obtained from a very secret innate secret realm. Why don't you leave? Feng Fanyu noticed something was wrong with Shen Junwu's expression and asked in a low voice, is there something wrong? Shen Junwu never expected that there would be a natural secret realm in the God Burial Stream. Previous life. No news. Shen Junwu didn't want to miss such a heaven-defying fate, and immediately pointed to the rock wall. There is a natural secret in this rock wall. What? As soon as these words came out, everyone except the silly Lulu was extremely shocked. I have determined that it is indeed a natural secret realm. However, my mental detection range is limited, so I don't know what dangers there are. Quote. Shen Junwu continued. I must break through the destiny that defies heaven. Those who are not willing to take risks can stay or go forward on their own. Hearing this, everyone fell silent. Born in a secret place, the dangers are unknown. Staying or moving forward are equally dangerous and unknown. There is no Shen Junwu. They have no confidence that they can get out of this hellish place. Wealth can be found in danger, so go for it. Cao Tianyu immediately expressed his position. If the key criminals we are pursuing are ahead, we don't know what kind of traps are waiting. Good. Feng Fanyu then said. If the secret realm here can greatly increase our cultivation, we can also complete the mission better. Agree. Che Jinlei and the other 4 also expressed their stance immediately. As for Lulu and the last driver, they are not qualified to make a decision. Good. Shen Junwu immediately drew a line on the rock wall with his hands. Marmot, it's up to you. Your sister. You call me a favor, but you still scold me. Cao Tianyu rolled his eyes, but stepped forward with a smile. Break down walls and dig into the ground. He is professional. Once the earth escape technique was used, the soil on the rock wall of the mountain stream was continuously dug out. This was the first time for Feng Fanyu to see Cao Tianyu perform it, and the corners of his mouth could not help but curl up, and he could not suppress it. Shen Junwu's description is very appropriate. It really looks like a giant prairie dog. Not long after, a passage that can barely pass through appears. Cao Tianyu got through and did not enter rashly, but retreated and let Shen Junwu go first. It's not that he's afraid of danger. The secret realm was discovered by Shen Junwu. He should be the first to enter and collect resources. This is called the rule. Shen Junwu entered. He stretched out his hand to touch the secret light curtain and was immediately pulled into it. An eye-catching scene. The whole figure is like being in a paradise, full of vibrant towering trees, beautiful flowers, small bridges, flowing water, pavilions and pavilions. It seems to be a small world where immortals live. The horizon is as far as the eye can see. The sky seems very close. It's actually very remote and very magical. While waiting for everyone to work hard, Shen Junwu breathed in the strong spiritual energy and felt that his martial arts could break through to the 4th level at any time. How wonderful! The richness of spiritual energy far exceeds the secret realm where Shen Junwu obtained the Shenwu spiritual bone. Lulu entered last. The beautiful environment broke through her fear, and her love for flowers was inspired, and she immediately rushed towards those delicate flowers. Shen Junwu was shocked. He took one step forward, pulled him back, and threw him heavily to the ground. What are you doing? You want to die without causing trouble for me. Why are you so mean? Lulu got up angrily. What's the danger here? I can't even pick a flower. Really? Shen Junwu snorted coldly, picked up a stone and flicked it toward the delicate flowers. Result: the stone suddenly shattered in the air. The terrifying scene scared Lulu so much that she collapsed on the ground and did not dare to speak. See it, Shen Junwu said coldly. Except for the small path in front of you, there are mysterious forces guarding all around. If you touch it, you will die. Finished. Shen Junwu sensed the mysterious power with spiritual detection and walked forward slowly. At this moment, Shen Junwu was quite frustrated. There is a feeling of entering the treasure mountain and returning empty-handed. That mysterious power is so terrifying that even a 6th or 7th level warrior would die if he touched it. It is the most terrifying place in the secret realm that Shen Junwu has ever seen in his life. Follow the trail. Everyone walked across the covered bridge, passed through a bamboo forest, passed through a garden, and came to a courtyard that looked like a small farmyard. At this point, the road is cut off. There is a stone table and several stone benches in the courtyard. Besides, there is only one willow tree and one dry well. However, this courtyard is not protected by mysterious power. Why? Take a break, take a break. Cao Tianyu sat down on the stone bench in great depression, and could only watch as he entered Dabaoshan, who was not confused. Ah! As soon as Cao Tianyu's butt landed on the stone, he stood up in surprise. The stone bench was turned into ashes when someone sat on it. Cao Tianyu fell down unexpectedly, and his hand fell on the stone table, causing the stone table to turn into ashes. Shen Junwu was shocked. How many thousands of years has it taken for the stone to have deteriorated to this extent? Under surprise, Shen Junwu tried to push away the thatched hut. Sure enough, even the hut was turned into ashes when touched. Perhaps, this secret realm has not yet come to the world. Feng Fanyu sighed in disappointment. This proves that we have no chance, let's go. But, Shen Junwu didn't want to leave and was unwilling to do so. The mental detection was activated at full strength and he explored under the courtyard. He didn't believe that his happiness would be in vain. 30 meters, 50 meters, 80 meters, 100 meters. Having reached the limit, Shen Junwu was still unwilling to give in, risking his life to explore further. But the limit is not easy to break. The mental power was excessively used, and the forehead was sweating profusely. Finally, under Shen Junwu's unremitting persistence, the limit of mental power was broken, and the detection distance suddenly increased to 130 meters. The situation 30 meters below was finally glimpsed. What the hell? Shen Junwu was furious, raised his head to the sky and roared, "Destroy the mental attack." Psychic attack breaks out. After a burst of invisible spiritual power collision, everyone's eyes flashed, showing incredible expressions. The stone tables, stone benches and thatched huts that had just disappeared were restored. And they were all entangled by the willow branches beside the dry well, and were lifted high and hung in the air. What's going on? Cao Tianyu was shocked. Wasn't he walking out just now? Illusion. This willow tree has given birth to spiritual wisdom and possesses extraordinary spiritual power, and we have fallen into its spiritual illusion. Shen Junwu was also entangled in the air by branches, however, its grade is not high, only the 5th grade. The plants and trees become spirits, at least the willow trees that are thousands of years old. Feng Fanyu exclaimed and immediately counterattacked. Phoenix flames, burn. This move comes out. The willow branches of the willow tree will be burned immediately, but its willow branches have a certain degree of fire resistance and cannot be burned in a short time. At the same time, the willow tree continues to entangle Feng Fanyu, and directly hits Feng Fanyu's mind with its spiritual power. Spiritual realm, open. Shen Zhenwu couldn't let Feng Fanyu have any problems, so he used his spiritual realm to protect Feng Fanyu from the willow tree's spiritual attacks. If something goes wrong with her, this team will have to be wiped out. Level. Shen Zhenwu had too many willow trees, but his domain skills were very tough and could buy Feng Sanyu some time. The spirit is blocked. Willow was angry. The willow branches wrapped around Shen Zhenwu suddenly sprouted sharp thorns, which penetrated Shen Zhenwu's body and randomly sucked Shen Zhenwu's vitality and mental power. The severe stinging pain and the pain of forcefully draining life force made Shen Zhenwu wail continuously. Brother Zhenwu, Shen Zhenwu, Shen Zhenwu. Yan Qingqing, Cao Tianyu, Che Jinlei and others were panicked. But they were controlled and unable to save them at all. Throughout life, Shen Zhenwu has never seen such a terrifying plant spirit. It has the ability to absorb people's life force and spiritual power. Beyond cognition, Shen Zhenwu is not helpless, let alone waiting to die. Doesn't it want to suck itself dry? Then I can also absorb its vitality and spiritual power, devour the supernatural power, and swallow all things, immediately. Then devour. Shen Zhenwu is the ancestor. Once the skill, swallow all things was used, Shen Zhenwu transformed into a glutton on the spot. Not only was the willow tree unable to swallow Shen Zhenwu's vitality and spiritual power, but it was swallowed up by Shen Zhenwu. It's faster and more powerful than it is. It is impossible to resist, let alone cut off. In shock, the willow tree decided to throw Shen Zhenwu out, and the entangled willow branches began to relax. Snort. How could Shen Zhenwu give it this opportunity? After the winding relaxed a little, Shen Zhenwu suddenly grabbed the willow branches without giving them a chance to separate from him. When using thunder to refine the body, the swallowing power used by Shen Zhenwu was very obscure, and Feng Fanyu and others could not detect it. But now that they are using their full strength, they will naturally notice that the third power is in danger of being leaked. How can they make Lu Shu feel better? A tree wants to kill him, and he must pay the price. Cut continuously. Can't get rid of it. Coupled with the counterattack by Feng Fanyu and others, the situation of this 5th level, king level, willow tree that became a spirit is very bad. Especially Feng Sanyu and Che Jinlei. A phoenix flame or a thunder power can cause considerable damage to the willow tree. One goes down and the other goes up. Shen Zhenwu was so excited that he laughed repeatedly. The vitality of the wood element is extremely strong. Shen Zhenwu's martial arts is about to break through the 4th level. He absorbs its huge vitality and his internal energy grows very rapidly. Willow's spiritual power also provides the source of advancement for Shen Zhenwu's spiritual abilities. Boom, boom, boom. Not long after, Shen Zhenwu's martial arts took the lead in breaking through to the 4th level of Wuzong. The so-called Wuzong. It also means master. It means that a person's internal strength, experience, and martial arts skills have all reached the 1st-class level, and he can open a gym to recruit disciples and teach martial arts. You can even create your own martial arts. Soon after, Shen Zhenwu's spiritual power quickly broke through to the 4th level. This moment, Shen Zhenwu's mental power has greatly increased, his mental attacks are stronger, and the scope of his mental field is also wider. Weeds and trees should move with the wind and die. Shen Zhen's martial arts improved greatly, and he instantly acquired the legendary cloud-breaking sword, grabbed the willow branch and swung it around, inserting the tip of the knife straight into the trunk of the willow tree. The willow tree has so much power. Unable to resist Shen Zhenwu's sudden outburst, the tree trunk was stabbed with a knife and suffered severe trauma. However, Shen Zhenwu's methods go far beyond that. The Poyan knife inserted into the tree trunk was not withdrawn, but with the help of the wounding power of the blade, it once again swallowed up the vitality and spiritual power of the willow tree. It caused the willow trees to tremble violently and their branches to fly around. Good opportunity. Feng Sanyu and Che Jinlei seized the opportunity to break out and finally got out of control. Free at last. The two's epic level weapons were instantly available, and they chopped off the branches of the willow tree with constant swings, and rescued Cao Tianyu and others. Lu Shu gained control of the situation but was reversed and became the target of siege. It's just vegetation, trying to eat people. Cao Tianyu landed freely. He used the gravity of the earth, moved to suppress the willow tree's movements with all his strength. Fire Phoenix temporary team, a total of 7 people. At this time, the 7 people worked together and finally showed the combat effectiveness and cooperation of a special team, causing a devastating blow to the 5th level, King level, Willow. It's time to end it. Shen Junwu did not dare to be greedy. Seeing that Willow had reached the end of his powerful crossbow, he suddenly shook the Poyan sword. There was a boom. The trunk of the king-level willow tree was broken from the position where the Poyan cloud sword vibrated. The next second, in the tree trunk under the blade, a heart-like crystal emits bursts of green light. Willow heart, the origin of life condensed from thousands of years of vegetation, is a kind of miraculous life object that goes beyond the scope of spiritual beads and can only be born from the spirit of vegetation. Feng Sanyu and Cao Tianyu exclaimed at the same time. Shen Junwu was also shocked. Judging from the size and height of this willow tree, it is far less than 1,000 years old. How could such a miracle of life be born? There is a ghost, there is definitely a ghost. Mental detection immediately peered into the willow roots. You won't know if you don't look at it, but you will be shocked when you look at it. Turn out to be, that is not a dry well, but a spiritual spring that derives the earth spiritual liquid. Even more surprising, there is a skull in the spiritual spring, exuding waves of mental power. This bone is similar to the Shenwu spiritual bone that Shen Junwu once obtained. It is a miraculous thing that can be integrated into the body and change the physique and talent. Shen Junwu made inquiries in many ways. The formation of spiritual bones requires perfect factors of the right time, place and people. Its owner's cultivation level during his lifetime was at least beyond the 9th level, and he was an invincible creature. Only with the endless baptism of spiritual power could he finally form it. The willow tree transforms into spirit. The reason why he also has the willow wood heart and the spiritual power has been found, and it is all because of this spiritual spring. After Shen Junwu put away the willow heart, his spiritual power randomly poured into the spiritual spring, sucking up all the earth spiritual liquid and spiritual skull in it. This is. Everyone was horrified to see the mental skull. The spiritual skull is a spiritual bone created after the death of a super 9th level invincible creature. Its value exceeds that of mythical weapons. Shen Junwu did not hide it, and said slowly, these springs are earth spiritual liquid, which contains extremely huge vitality. It can increase the speed of cultivation, heal injuries, and cure diseases, which is rare. Each person has a bottle, and the rest belongs to me. Cao Tianyu was very happy. Did he actually encounter such a legendary thing? He immediately took out a piece of mineral water from his space ring, drank it gurglingly, and used it to contain the earth spiritual liquid. After profit distribution, Shen Junwu directly put the spiritual skull into his space ring. To this, the Fire Phoenix team members didn't say anything. On the contrary, Lulu and her driver looked at each other with dissatisfaction. After a short break, the driver finally couldn't bear it anymore and slowly stood up and said, Mr. Shen, I have a question to ask. You say. Shen Junwu looked up in surprise. In this operation, you undoubtedly have the greatest credit and the greatest contribution. However, we are a group, a whole, and we live and die together, so we should not distinguish between each other. The driver said slowly, the best things in this harvest should be the willow heart and the spiritual skull, the value of which is not comparable to the earth's spiritual liquid. But you seem to have taken it all by yourself without consulting us. Isn't that not good? Hear the words. The 6 members of the Fire Phoenix team all looked at him in surprise. Shen Junwu smiled softly. You mean, I should give you a copy? No, Mr. Shen misunderstood. I don't have this qualification. Quote. The driver immediately waved his hand. What I want to say is, Captain Feng, Mr. Cao and others also contributed, are you? Phew. Before he could finish his words, Shen Junwu suddenly stood up with a knife and chopped off the driver's head with one blow. Blood spurts out. Lulu was so frightened that Yan Qingqing screamed in horror. The other people were also shocked by Shen Junwu's ruthlessness. But Shen Junwu didn't explain, he just took out a piece of white cloth and slowly wiped the blood on the blade. Shen Junwu, you. After a long time, Lulu trembled and accused, you kill people, how dare you kill people? You kill people in front of the Long Yuan army, special team, how brave are you? Really? Shen Junwu smiled interestingly and turned to look at Feng Fanyu. Captain Feng, do you think it was wrong for me to kill him? Deserves to be killed. Feng Sanyu didn't hesitate. Although she didn't agree with it, Shen Junwu's actions were understandable. What? Lulu was furious. Feng Fanyu, you are a law enforcer. It's okay if you don't pursue the case, but you still protect me. He deserves to die, not to mention the issue of the ownership of Lu Muxin's spiritual skull. Just because he intends to sow discord between us and Shen Junwu and take advantage of the opportunity to gain benefits, he deserves to die, he deserves to be killed. Quote. Feng Fanyu answered in a sonorous and powerful tone. Wilderness mission. It is both danger and adventure. At this time, internal strife due to uneven distribution of spoils is most taboo. He just told the truth. Lulu's tone became a little less confident. Besides, he is thinking about you. Do you think I'm stupid? Feng Fanyu's face turned cold and he looked angry. Without Shen Junwu, we would have died long ago. Without Shen Junwu, we would not have been able to discover the secret realm here. According to the distribution of credit, Lu Muxin and his spiritual skull should belong to him. Besides, only he is suitable. He is a person with psychic powers and can fully exert the function of his mental skull. As for Lu Muxin, I think he will take it back and give it to Senior Yang Kongshuan to help him survive and heal his injuries. Quote. Wow. After hearing this, Shen Junwu walked up to Feng Fanyu excitedly. Sister Feng Wang, you understand me so well. You are the roundworm in my belly. I am starting to like you a little bit. Roll. Feng Fanyu glared angrily. Are you so complimentary? This lady is a phoenix, not a roundworm. That's it. The secret realm suddenly shook, followed by a terrifying aura and an extremely depressing roar. Let's go. Shen Junwu yelled, grabbed Yan Qingqing and ran away. Cao Tianyu sighed and finally pulled Lulu. Escape quickly. Shen Junwu looked back with regret. That willow tree didn't even explode. I wonder if it's because the willow tree hasn't fully evolved yet and reached the level of a strange beast. Regrets are regrets, and we cannot stop. After a group of 8 people returned to the God burial stream, the passage opened by Cao Tianyu was resealed due to a shock. So weird. It gives people a dreamlike feeling. Shen Junwu thought it was a dream, and used his mental power to take out Lu Muxin and his mental skull, and put them in his hands. The road ahead is dangerous, stay here for a while. Shen Junwu thought about it and decided to absorb the spiritual skull first. Good. The 6 members of the Phoenix team took their respective positions, all facing forward and alert. They already understand. If you look back in the God-burying stream, you will immediately fall into an illusion. No one dares to take a look back. Shen Junwu sat in a circle. Inject spiritual power into the spiritual skull to communicate. The spiritual skull is a type of spiritual bone, and its integration method is very simple. After communicating with its own power, it will automatically integrate with key parts of the body. After a few minutes, the mental skull glowed with light, as if it recognized Shen Junwu, and began to move closer to Shen Junwu's eyebrows, and slowly entered the process of fusion. The process is quite painful. But compared to the original pain of fusing the Shenwu spiritual bone, it was completely child's play. The divine martial spiritual bone is a piece of spiritual bone on the spine. The fusion power spreads throughout the whole body, as if the whole person is being dismantled and reassembled. Not long after, the spiritual skull is completely compatible with Shen Junwu's eyebrow bones, leaving a mark similar to the eye of the sky in the middle of the eyebrow. After obtaining the spiritual bones, Shen Junwu's mental power suddenly increased sharply. The 4th mental skill is automatically derived. The 6 fire phoenixes sensed Shen Junwu's spiritual power, and they were all horrified, and an inexplicable feeling of fear arose deep in their hearts. When we first met, Shen Junwu is only at level 3. It's only been a while now, and it's not far from the 5th level. In a duel with superpowers, Feng Fanyu may not even be able to win against Shen Junwu. And the owl-headed sword in the secret realm. Only they knew in their hearts that Shen Junwu killed Lulu's driver just to scare the monkeys. If they covet it, if Feng Sanyu didn't agree with his approach, the blade would be aimed at them. Kill decisively. Ambition. Coupled with Yang Kongshuan's support behind him, Shen Junwu will surely shake up the Dragon Kingdom in less than 3 years. At that time, they are afraid that they can only look up. Keep going. The group said nothing about what happened in the secret realm, and Shen Junwu felt relieved. That knife. That's right. After about an hour of walking, Feng Fanyu once again found the code mark left by team member Xiaoyao. Feng Fanyu and others were extremely excited. Shen Junwu, on the other hand, felt heavy. This group of perverts in the Beast Soul Palace can deal with strange beasts, and can even control the king of beasts, triggering a large-scale beast tide, which is extremely terrifying. The pride of the Dragon Kingdom. Countless people died at their hands. In particular, most of the members of the Hunters, known as the strongest team, died because of the followers of the Beast Soul Palace. Gradually go deeper. The burial god abyss in Shen Junwu's memory was gradually overturned, and the situation now was very different from that 10 years later. In addition to strange beasts like the nether bat, which like darkness, moisture, and gloom, there seem to be many flying strange beasts living in the central area of the god burial abyss. The terrain is complex and strange forces are everywhere. Stop, Shen Junwu suddenly spoke, looking up at the mountain stream. What did you find? Feng Fanyu asked eagerly. There are traces of climbing on the rock wall. Shen Junwu used his spiritual detection with all his strength and scanned once more before speaking with certainty. Break through the 4th level. Shen Junwu's mental detection range expanded to 500 meters, and after integrating the spiritual skull, it increased sharply again, reaching a range of 1,000 meters. If the detection range hadn't been expanded to 1,000 meters, he wouldn't have been able to detect it. What's even scarier is, the mental detection went up 1,000 meters, but it was far from the top of the mountain stream. I wonder how high the rock wall of the mountain stream is. Cao Tianyu, Shui Bei, listen to the order. The two of you are taking Lulu and Yan Qingqing to wait here as backup. If you are in danger, you should quickly escape from the burial god stream. Quote. Feng Fanyu made a decision immediately. I, Shen Junwu, Che Jinlei, and Dunan climbed up to find out. Captain, no. Cao Tianyu immediately objected. We don't have enough strength, and it would be more dangerous to divide our troops. We must divide our forces. The mountain stream is too high for Lulu to bear. She will die from lack of oxygen. Quote. Shen Junwu said solemnly. Dunan's wood ability is the key to climbing the rock wall. If we go forward together, he will be under too much pressure. Still not working. Without my earth escape technique, you would have no chance of escaping when you encounter a powerful enemy. Quote. Cao Tianyu was worried. In this case, Che Jinlei and Shui Bei stay, and I will go up with you. Brother, how could the two ladies escape if they were in danger without you? Shen Junwu rolled his eyes. On the top of the mountain, the environment is complex and there are unknown powers. I'm afraid your earth escape technique will be useless. Shen Junwu is right, you must stay. Feng Fanyu's decision was unquestionable. Dunan, use the sky tree winding to tie us up and climb up in cooperation with each other. Good. The taciturn Dunan stretched out his hand, and 3 wooden vines stretched out from his left hand, entangling Shen Junwu, Feng Fanyu, and Che Jinlei respectively. Stretching out his right hand, 3 wooden vines sprouted up towards the rock wall and pierced into it. Keto Spider-Man. Keep climbing up. I have to say, Feng Fanyu still has certain leadership and vision, and is good at selecting people. If it weren't for Dunan, no one can climb up except to grow wings. The 4 people in the group were all very skilled in martial arts, and they were able to find places to draw on each other, pulling each other up, and the speed was quite fast. Not long after, we climbed to 2,000 meters. Shen Junwu used spiritual detection to find out, and after another 1,000 meters, he still hadn't reached the end yet. Jump up. The air is thinner. The cold and gloomy feeling is getting stronger. After 3,000 meters, the rock wall began to freeze. After passing 4,000 meters, Dunan's wood-type superpower found it difficult to break the ice, and the superpower consumed more power. Stop, Shen Junwu said. Everyone needs to take some medicine. After a few minutes of rest, I will take the lead. Everyone was very tired. They all took out their own earth spiritual liquid and drank it. Life-saving stuff. The moment is right. Watch me perform. After resting, Shen Junwu smiled confidently, pressed his body against the ice, and immediately displayed the phrase, "Dragon Snake Swim," exploded by the storm wing python. He twisted his body and immediately leaned against the wall. The three people's eyes widened. Can a person turn into a snake? Only then did I understand. It turns out that it was not unreasonable for Shen Junwu to kill the 4th level Wolf King with the 3rd level formation. The next second, Shen Junwu shouted softly, and the Wild Boar King exploded the entry, Iron Hoof and Giant Claw, and immediately used it. Put your hands together. The ice broke immediately. Immediately, he used his mental power to suddenly lift Mudo and throw them flying. At the same time, Shen Junwu's dragon and snake swimming quickly climbed upstream. It was so fast that it pulled the three of them again at a higher point. The three of them couldn't help but curl their lips. What a show! This is the real Canyon of the Kings. With this kind of ability, even if you fall into the abyss, you won't die. It's so impressive. At an altitude of 6,000 meters, the four finally reached the top. The vast expanse of white on the top is like being in the sky, and the coldness makes 4th level warriors feel irresistible. Ho ho ho! Just as the four of them took a breath, bursts of dragon roars rang out, and the sound waves blew up violent winds. Shen Junwu was shocked. This breath is terrifying, more powerful than the original ferocious beast king, storm-winged python. Psychic detection. The dragon's roar was not far away, and Shen Junwu immediately detected it. The screen is transmitted back. Shen Junwu was suddenly startled and randomly shared it with Feng Fanyu, Che Jinlei and Dunan. In the fog ahead, there is an ancient altar, and there are 6 blood-colored chains on the altar, trapping an ice spiny dragon, about 10 feet long on the altar. There were 4 people around the altar. They are all 5th level beast transformation system users. In front of the altar, there was a young man in a suit and leather shoes with a gloomy face, and under his feet was a beautiful woman who was covered in frost. It's Xiaoyao, it's Xiaoyao. Feng Sanyu got the picture and was instantly emotional. Shen Junwu grabbed her and whispered, "Don't be impulsive. If you rush forward now, you will only be controlled by others. She is still alive, and the effect is self-evident." Feng Fanyu calmed down instantly. If Xiaoyao fell into the hands of the enemy, they must be preparing to threaten her. This is the consistent style of the Beast Soul Palace believers. The 4 people around the altar are new believers in the Beast Soul Palace, and they are all 5th level beast transformation system users. Feng Fanyu's face was solemn. The man in the suit is the key criminal we are hunting this time, the messenger of the Dark Temple, a madman who awakened the Shadow Beast, known as the Black King. Shen Junwu already understood what was going on. The messenger of the Dark Temple, the Black King, he is a legend. 1. Known as the God of Thieves, there is nothing he can't steal. If Shen Junwu guessed correctly, the Black King did a big thing and stole a sample of a medicine that the Dragon Kingdom's military was researching, Tian Xing Shui. This thing, it has the function of strengthening the body and improving supernatural talents. The Black King is legendary, but his talent is only rare. The purpose of stealing the Tian Awakening Water is to enhance the physique, improve the talent, and inherit the ability of the Ice-Spined Dragon through the unique blood sacrifice method of the Beast Soul Palace. The Black King in his previous life. Not only does it have the sneaking ability of the Shadow Beast, but it also has extremely weird spatial abilities. With the cooperation of these 2 abilities, Longguo was in dire straits, and countless technologies and research materials were stolen. Final. The hunter leader made repeated plans and dispatched the strongest hunter team to kill him. There is information from past lives. Among the rare beasts is the Ice Spinosaurus. The thorns on its back are not only used for defense, but also have the ability to move in space. When the Ice Spinosaurus moves, these thorns will form a temporary space channel, allowing it to quickly travel through different dimensions and spaces. Put it this way, it was at this moment that the Black King cooperated with the Beast Soul Palace, and successfully deprived the Ice-Spined Dragon of its spatial ability. Shen Junwu, the Black King must die. Feng Fanyu looked at Shen Junwu solemnly. If he doesn't die, the Dragon Kingdom will have endless troubles. No rush. Shen Junwu signaled her not to get excited. The 5th level, Ice Spinosaurus, was blocked by the altar, but it was not easy to surrender. Although the method of blood sacrifice can plunder the souls of alien beasts to enhance one's own beast soul abilities and deprive them of their abilities, it is not easy to succeed. Mr. Black King, it's almost time. The leader of the Beast Soul Palace, Believer, who possesses the Fire Snake, animal transformation system, Huoji nodded and said. For this, ice-spined dragon, our Beast Soul Palace not only lost 3 believers, but also offered extremely rare beasts as bait to successfully capture it. You must remember the sacrifice of my Beast Soul Palace. Quote. The Black King slowly took off his suit and said with a smile, Brother Huoji, don't worry. Regardless of whether this matter is successful or not, I, the Dark Temple, owe the Beast Soul Temple a great favor. If successful, in the future, the Beast Soul Palace has a destiny, no matter it is a mountain of swords or a sea of fire. Brothers, I will get what you need, otherwise, I will be destroyed by heaven and earth. Ha 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 ha. With Mr. Black King's words, it's stable. Huoji laughed loudly and took the lead. As soon as the Beast Soul, Fire Snake, appeared, the flames of the Fire Snake instantly burned the ice-spined dragon. The other 3 people also used their beast souls to use their own strength to destroy the powerful dragon body of the ice-spined dragon. As Shen Junwu expected, Ice Spinosaurus is not a real dragon, but it has the blood of a divine dragon. Its blood is comparable to that of ferocious beasts, and its defense power is very strong. Even if he is imprisoned, it also requires a huge amount of strength to hurt it. It is worth mentioning that the altar of the Beast Soul Palace is really magical. It not only has a terrifying confinement power, but also has a certain condensation effect on the beast soul. Otherwise, if the body of the Ice Spinosaurus is gone, the soul of the beast will also be scattered. The 4 of them continued to perform. The Black King also took out the Tian Xing Shui that had just been successfully developed but was not yet perfected, and was ready to take it at any time. Shen Junwu, Feng Fanyu couldn't bear it, and she was even more afraid that Xiaoyao couldn't bear it. If you want to save people, you must listen to me. Shen Junwu gave a serious warning. Otherwise, not only will you not be able to save people, you will also kill us. To this, Che Jinlei and Dunan both agreed with Shen Junwu's approach. The opponents are all at level 5. They are all at the 4th level, with huge differences in strength. If they act rashly, they will die. Feng Sanyu also knows. But there are some things she must do. This is her mission. Even if she knew she would die, she still had to give it a try. A quarter of an hour later, when the thorns on the Ice Spinosaurus back were severely damaged, Shen Junwu finally blurted out, "Do it. I'm responsible for rescuing people, and the 3 of you stopped the 4 from the Beast Soul Palace." Quote. The words fell. Shen Junwu suddenly rushed out, constantly breaking the ice with the soles of his feet, and picked up a stream of snowflakes. Psychic powers. Invisible and invisible. It is the best choice to save people. Shen Junwu took the lead, and when he quickly approached the altar, he immediately raised countless snowflakes with his spiritual power, thus blocking the enemy's sight and taking the opportunity to save people. Sudden change. The 4 Huoji people didn't seem surprised and responded calmly. The Black King in front of the altar was calmer and stepped motionless. Xiaoyao, who was dying of cold, still showed a disdainful smile. Shen Junwu crossed the altar and fell backward. Dragon Snake swims around and uses it. Snowflakes were flying everywhere, leaving no trace behind. The Black King's eyes were startled. His still and unmoving expression finally revealed a look of surprise. His demeanor that was as steady as an old dog collapsed, and he immediately grabbed Xiaoyao and took her as a hostage. Mind control. Shen Junwu was well prepared. The moment the Black King took action, he upgraded his mental powers to the 4th level and used the new skills he had acquired. This skill, different from the spiritual realm, it is a single-shot skill. It can directly attack the enemy's spirit and thinking, and even control the enemy to obey his orders. The Black King was caught off guard and was immediately hit. But he was just stunned for a second, and then instantly got out of control. Shen Junwu was shocked. There is only one possibility for the Black King to get rid of his mental control in an instant. He is not a simple superpower. Instead, he is a terrifying 5th-level warrior with an extremely determined mind. He actually hid the fact that he is a powerful warrior. What a deep thought. But Shen Junwu is the best at dealing with accidents. His mental power suddenly surges out, taking advantage of the moment when he loses consciousness to save people. Mental pull. Xiaoyao was forcibly taken away by Shen Junwu. The Black King lost his footing, and his anger suddenly burst out. Shen Junwu, a disciple of senior Yang Kongshuan, you really have the means, but you shouldn't have come. Anyone who stops me will die." The words fell. The Black King locked onto Shen Junwu in an instant, with wind blowing under his feet and his steps stepping on the sky. Just as Shen Junwu hugged Xiaoyao, Black King's powerful and heavy kick appeared on Shen Junwu's back. There was a boom. Shen Junwu was kicked and rolled out with Xiaoyao in his arms. It hurts so much." Shen Junwu's back was almost broken by the kick, and he screamed in pain. He is a 5th level warrior. It was at least the middle stage of the 5th level, Martial King realm. If Shen Junwu hadn't had the ability to devour and dissolve, his waist would have been broken. This scene, not only did Feng Fanyu not expect it, but even the people in the Beast Soul Palace didn't expect it. They didn't expect that the Black King's martial arts cultivation was so pure. "You know it hurts, right? Next, it will hurt even more." The Black King was furious, and he immediately grabbed a pair of rare-level swords and slashed fiercely at Shen Junwu. Yeah, Shen Junwu pushed Xiaoyao out smoothly, and immediately jumped up with his legs crossed. The rare-level long sword and the legendary-level cloud-breaking sword also immediately appeared in the hand, and they slashed and slashed at the Black King. The Black King is very strong. Shen Junwu is not afraid of him, and he dares to fight even the 4th level against the 5th level. The two swords collided. Jingo Symphony. Sparks flew. The fierceness and excitement of the battle far surpassed the battle between the 3 Feng Fanyu and the 4 Huoji. "Good boy, your martial arts talent is so high." The Black King showed no mercy and was helpless to get hold of Shen Junwu. He was very horrified in his heart. "You're not bad either." Shen Junwu chuckled and replied, feeling quite bitter in his heart. If he hadn't successfully advanced to the 4th level and had the ability to devour and dissolve, he wouldn't have been able to withstand it. "This battle is dangerous. I thought that the Black King was the character with the least fighting ability, but Shen Junwu was able to quickly kill him and go to help Feng Fanyu and the others. As a result, he turned out to be the one with the strongest fighting ability." Miscalculated. If the situation cannot be broken quickly, the situation will become even worse after Feng Fanyu and the other 3 are defeated. Thinking room. Shen Junwu's eyes fell on the altar. Perhaps the Ice Spinosaurus is the only one who can help him break the situation. 3 minutes of fighting. Shen Junwu was forced to retreat continuously, and gradually became unable to control himself and his arms became numb. Ha 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 ha. 4th level, always 4th level. No matter how outstanding your talent is, it is impossible to cross the limit and fight evenly with a 5th level warrior, so go to hell. The Black King has noticed that Shen Junwu's condition is weakening. During the fierce attack, he suddenly kicked Shen Junwu directly in the chest. Shen Junwu couldn't avoid it and was hit by a kick in the chest. His whole body kept sliding back, and he could only try his best to control himself and not fall down. The Black King succeeded with one move. Immediately he stepped forward and flew up, raising his 2 swords high and slashing down hard. The situation is critical, unstable. Shen Junwu could only hold up his 2 swords to resist. Bang bang. In the blink of an eye, Shen Junwu's mouth went numb, and his 2 swords flew away from his hand. The whole person also collapsed to the ground. Ha ha, die. Others are afraid of Yang Kongshuan, but the Black King is not. As long as today's blood sacrifice is successful, he will be able to obtain the space ability. Coupled with the Shadow Beast stealth, Yang Kongshuan will not be able to kill him. One step in pursuit. The tip of the knife penetrated Shen Junwu's heart. Die. At this moment, Shen Junwu showed a smile that showed success. Black King was shocked. Looking back from the corner of his eye, he discovered that Shen Junwu's 2 swords were flying rapidly, slashing towards the blood-colored chains on the altar that controlled the Ice Spinosaurus. No. Only then did the Black King realize that he had fallen into the trap. Shen Junwu was indeed powerless, but more importantly, he wanted to confuse him so that he could use the method of spiritual control of objects to rescue the Ice Spinosaurus. Feng Sanyu, Che Jinlei, and Dunan all saw it. He broke out desperately and forcibly dragged the 4 Huoji people away without giving them a chance to stop them. The Black King is too far away. There was no way to stop him, so he could only unleash his anger on Shen Junwu, and thrust his 2 swords extremely powerfully into Shen Junwu's heart. There is only death. Only then can he calm down. Click, click sound kept resounding. The bloody chains of the altar were cut off one after another. At the same time, the tip of the Black King's knife was thrust in hard. Shen Junwu tried his best to use dragon and snake movement to avoid it, but he avoided the vital point. Both shoulders were struck by the Black King's two swords at the same time, nailing him directly to the ice. Shen Junwu was miserable, but he is not a person who can be bullied casually. The moment the Black King hit him, Shen Junwu's fists exploded violently, hitting the Black King's chest with the Ox Demon Powerful Fist. The Bull Demon Powerful Fist is an entry made by the Buffalo King. It can make Shen Junwu's third level burst out with the terrifying power of the fourth level. At this moment, Shen Junwu's martial arts has reached the fourth level, and the power he can erupt is even stronger. It is not easy for the Black King to bear it, and he is beaten backwards and vomits blood. Ho ho ho. At the same time, the Ice Spinosaurus completely broke free from control, surged up with overwhelming hatred, and slammed into the Black King. Black King was shocked. He twisted his whole body vigorously and finally completed the rotation in the air, with his hands crossed in front of his chest. Resist in time. But the impact of the Ice Spinosaurus still made him more injured and he vomited blood again. Shen Junwu took back his mental power. He attached himself to the Black King's swords with his spiritual power and pulled them out forcefully. This time Shen Junwu. What a miserable old man. Blood spurts from his shoulder. Fortunately, Shen Junwu had the capital and drank a lot of earth spiritual liquid. The unused medicine was able to repair his injuries in time, so he felt better. The situation finally changed. The Black King was avenged by the Ice Spinosaurus and could no longer use his hands. However, Che Jinlei and Dunan were seriously injured by the people from the Beast Soul Palace. Only Feng Fanyu persisted with the power of the Phoenix and tried his best to protect Che Jinlei and Dunan. You two, go kill Shen Junwu and capture the Ice Spinosaurus. Seeing that the Black King was in bad condition, Huoji was so angry that he asked the two people around him to kill Shen Junwu. Cruel people, I only believe in a wise saying, take advantage of your illness and kill you. The two beast-turned superpowers, Awakened Blazing Wolf and Hellfire Dog, immediately withdrew from the battlefield and attacked Shen Junwu. Shen Junwu is so weird. His arms were seriously injured and he had no fighting power. Only by dealing with Shen Junwu could he regain control of the situation. It's a pity that Shen Junwu is not that easy to deal with. Both arms were seriously injured and he indeed had no fighting ability, but he still had supernatural powers. A thought came to my mind. Using his spiritual power to control objects, he controlled 4 long knives and attacked the 2 of them from a distance. 2 of them belonged to Shen Junwu. The other 2 belonged to the Black King. The spiritual control object, the blade is treacherous, and the trace is unpredictable, and the 2 of them cannot break through for a while. This is the power of psychics. Even if your body is injured and your skills are weak, as long as your mental strength is still there, you can still attack the enemy while lying still. The situation is temporarily stable. On the other side, the more seriously injured Ice Spinosaurus was not only reversed and beaten by the Black King, but was forced to keep retreating helplessly towards Shen Junwu. It looked like he couldn't hold on for long. The situation was unfavorable again. Feng Sanyu was anxious and worried. If she could successfully break through to the 5th level, the situation would never be like this, but she really couldn't gain new insights and couldn't break through. Shen Junwu was also very angry. If Feng Sanyu has a 5th level cultivation, one person can sweep away the dogs here. Old Wolf, go help Mr. Black King. The beast-turned superpower who awakened the Hellfire Dog suddenly said, leave it to me, Shen Junwu, to capture and suppress the Ice Spinosaurus first. If this beast dies, our plan will be in vain. Shen Junwu's mental powers are weird, but they can't hurt me. Quote. That makes sense. The old wolf nodded immediately. He jumped up and swung his flaming wolf claws, quickly blocking Shen Junwu's obstruction. See this. Shen Junwu's eyes moved, and they reminded themselves. Ice Spinosaurus is very important to them, and even more important to Shen Junwu. It is not only a factor in breaking the situation, but also a trump card to escape with his life. Under siege by 2 people. The situation of Ice Spinosaurus was even worse. The thorns on its back were severely damaged, and it didn't even have a chance to escape through the air. As it continues to retreat, Shen Junwu is getting closer and closer. Moreover, from time to time, he turned around and yelled at Shen Junwu, as if to say, "Brother, can you bring 2 of your knives to my side? I can't stop it, I really can't stop it." Shen Jun and Wu Dang didn't see it, and used all their strength to resist the enemy, preventing him from getting close. Boom. A moment later, the ice Spinosaurus was severely attacked by the Black King and Old Wolf, and its huge body slid down in front of Shen Junwu with a rumble. The ice dragon's head is beside Shen Junwu. What the hell? Do you really think I'm easy to bully? Shen Junwu was furious, and the 2 rare long knives suddenly changed their direction and attacked the Black King, Old Wolf. Ice Spinosaurus showed a grateful look. This man is much more innocent. When this Dragon King escapes with his life, I will definitely eat you first. When the Ice Spinosaurus was thinking about how to escape with its life, it suddenly felt severe pain in its neck, and a knife was inserted directly into its neck. An unexpected scene. Everyone on both sides was stunned. Shen Junwu not only withdrew 2 rare level long knives, but also withdrew the most terrifying legendary level, cloud-breaking sword, and inserted it into the neck of his teammate, Ice Spinosaurus without anyone noticing. Gave it a fatal blow. At this time, Huoji, Laolong and Haiwang all felt that Shen Junwu was not a human being. Although the Ice Spinosaurus is a strange beast, it has the same enemies as Shen Junwu. During the battle, if you suddenly stab someone in the neck, are you a human being? Shen Junwu ignored it. While they were in a daze, they stepped on the Ice Spinosaurus' head, held the cloud-breaking knife tightly with both hands, endured the severe pain on their shoulders, and severely cut off the Ice Spinosaurus' head. Bite. Congratulations to the host for not being a human being, successfully killing the 5th level alien beast king, Ice Spine Dragon, and obtaining a new entry. Extremely unlucky, rare. Claw of the Spinosaurus epic. Roar of the Spinosaurus epic. Traveling through space epic. Ice Flame epic. The system, except for being extremely unlucky, adds everything. Shen Junwu cursed secretly and spoke eagerly. This dog system actually scolded him for not being a human being. As he had guessed, killing the Ice Spinosaurus might lead to a spatial attribute entry, and it really came out. Bite. Detect host entries. Shuttle Space Epic and Ice Flame Epic are all attribute entries. Detects that the host's body functions are damaged and is in danger. Ask the host to select an entry to add. What the hell, I actually have restrictions. Shen Junwu was shocked. Before he could make a choice, Black King and Old Wolf had come to their senses and all attacked him. Spiritual Realm. Shen Jun and Wu Dang even came out of the spiritual realm to suppress, intending to delay time. At the same time, Shen Junwu responded urgently. System, add claws of Spinosaurus epic, roar of Spinosaurus epic, and space travel epic. Bite. Congratulations to the host for adding an attribute entry, Shuttle Space Epic. The system is enabling the space ability for the host. Congratulations to the host for adding Spinosaurus Claws Epic and gaining the power of Spinosaurus's claws. Congratulations to the host for adding Spinosaurus Roar Epic and gaining Spinosaurus Roar Attack. The plan succeeded, but the spiritual realm is only at the 4th level, which is not enough to suppress the 3 major 5th level figures. It can only slow down their attacks and movement speed. It also takes time to activate new abilities. Shen Junwu, it's useless. The Black King stepped closer under pressure and kept shouting angrily, "You killed my Spinosaurus and ruined my plan. You deserve death. Sorry, you don't have this chance." Shen Junwu looked back and made a decision immediately. The words have not yet fallen. Shen Junwu suddenly turned around and rushed out, picked up Xiaoyao and jumped off the mountain top. No no, no, no no. Seeing that Shen Junwu was forced into a desperate situation and would rather jump off a cliff to his death than fall into the hands of the enemy, Feng Fanyu was heartbroken and furious. The Phoenix Flame instantly heals the entire body. At this moment, she suddenly understood that nothing in this world was important except power. Family. That power. Without power, everything is fleeting. Without strength, she can't protect her teammates, her country, or her family. Boom, boom, boom. The violent impact of grief, Feng Sanyu's skill, and the powerful burst of superpowers actually broke through to the 5th level of Martial King Realm at the same time. Not good. Feng Fanyu broke through the battle, and the faces of Black King and Old Wolf changed drastically. Ignoring Shen Junwu's jumping off the cliff, he immediately ran away and surrounded Feng Fanyu with Huoji. You all go to hell. Feng Sanyu went completely crazy. The beast soul of the mythical beast Phoenix roared continuously, and the phoenix flames shot out all over the place, instantly suppressing the 5 masters. Other side, Shen Junwu jumped off the cliff with a smile on his face, secretly estimating the distance of his fall, and waiting for the activation of the space power. But this time, it opened very slowly. 2,000 meters. 3,000 meters. Time is tight, and if the space ability cannot be activated, he will really jump off a cliff this time. It will kill you. 4,000 meters. Shen Junwu couldn't help but secretly cursed. Dog system, how can you be so reliable? After scolding secretly, Shen Junwu was suddenly stunned. Is the speed of falling too fast? Look down. Feng Fanyu's team member, Xiaoyao, is actually pregnant with him. The injured shoulder immediately felt bursts of pain. I acted too realistically. Shen Junwu was depressed. It's not really jumping off a cliff. Why would you jump off a cliff with this woman in your arms? This is going to kill me. Others thought they both died in love. When 2 people jump off a cliff, the weight is too heavy and the falling speed is too fast. Shen Junwu did not dare to delay any longer and quickly activated the wind-type special skill, Storm Tornado. Use this to support yourself. Slow down the rate of fall. Protected by the storm and tornado, the whistling sound in my ears instantly weakened the cold and even gave me a feeling of warmth. At this time, the confused Xiaoyao regained some consciousness and slowly opened her eyes. She felt that the man she saw in front of her was so handsome and his embrace was so warm. This kind of warmth was something she had never felt in her life. Bite. Congratulations to the host, you have successfully activated the 4th ability, Space Ability, and gained a talent skill, Space Movement. The wait is finally here. Shen Junwu's face immediately became angry. Dog stuff. Little miscellaneous hair. Bullying me and forcing me to jump off a cliff to buy time, right? I want you to die. Use Space Shift immediately, climb up quickly, and kill him with a single shot. Continuously move. With the cooperation of the Storm Tornado, Shen Junwu quickly returned to the top of the mountain. It has to be said that the space power is indeed one of the most awesome among special powers. It is no wonder that the Black King tried so hard to get it. On top of the mountain, Feng Fanyu kept activating his ultimate moves, using the power of one person to make 5 people retreat in succession, forcing them to the point of force. Shen Junwu really didn't expect it. He jumped off a cliff and came back, and Feng Fanyu actually broke through. Heroic and handsome. Heroine. It makes people reluctant to break this beautiful battle. But Shen Junwu had no choice but to vent his anger on his own. He secretly placed Xiaoyao behind him and then flashed away with a movement in the void. The next second, Shen Junwu, holding the cloud-breaking sword, appeared silently behind the Black King and struck his head with one knife. This beast must be cut in half. The blade cuts down. A moment of life and death. Black King's martial arts instinct was stimulated, and he sensed danger, and his head suddenly turned to the right to avoid it. There was a popping sound. Black King's head was saved, but his entire left arm was chopped off by Shen Jun and fell to the ground. Ah, Yu. Blood splattered everywhere, and Huoji and the others felt like they were struck by a bolt from the blue, their livers and gallbladders bursting from fright. A man who jumped from the top of Burying God Stream actually came back. How is this possible? Not to mention how frightened they were, even Che Jinlei and Du Nan, who were seriously injured and fell to the ground, and Feng Fanyu, who was showing off his power, couldn't believe it. But the facts are before us. The Black King's severed arm is by no means an illusion. Escape. The 4 people in Huoji were frightened, shouted loudly, and fled in all directions. At this time, the Black King, who fell miserably, suddenly turned into a black shadow and penetrated into the ice. It is worthy of its claim that nothing can be stolen. In this situation, he is still able to escape. Seeing that the Black King's left arm was left behind and there was a space ring on the finger of his left arm, Shen Junwu was too lazy to waste his mental energy to hunt down a disabled man with a broken arm. Continuous battles. He doesn't have much mental energy left. The murderous intent locked onto Huoji instantly, and with the space shift, he instantly appeared behind Huoji, stabbing directly into his heart with a knife. The strongest person dies. The next second, Shen Junwoo continued to move in space and chopped down the old wolf with another knife. At the same time, Feng Fanyu seized the opportunity, and the phoenix flame penetrated the chests of the other two people one after another. So far, all 4 5th-level believers in the Beast Soul Palace were killed. The battle is over. Feng Fanyu rushed out and hugged Shen Junwoo tightly. She really thought Shen Junwoo was dead. The joy of being found cannot be expressed in words. She just wants to hug this little man tightly. Well, Shen Junwoo was stunned for a moment, and said with some secret satisfaction, "It's a bit overwhelming, but it's very comfortable and warm." After a long time, Feng Fanyu gradually calmed down, feeling like he was being pushed, and instantly pushed Shen Junwoo away with a blushing face. I didn't know what to say for a while. Shen Junwoo was also embarrassed and hurriedly turned aside. Heart Wei, can this be all my fault? It's so warm to hug you on the cold and windy mountain top. To blame. It's just that you are too beautiful and have a great figure. Team leader. The atmosphere was so awkward that Xiaoyao, who was thrown aside, was shivering from the cold and had to speak out. Xiaoyao. Feng Fanyu quickly ran over and hugged Xiaoyao tightly in her arms. Che Jinlei and Dunan were also shivering from the cold. Shen Junwoo stopped staying, took off the Black King's space ring, chopped the body of the ice Spinosaurus into several pieces and put them into the space ring, and immediately used his mental power to pull them into a pile. Immediately, he took them to jump into the God Burial Stream. The sudden jump off the cliff frightened the 2 men and 2 women so much that they screamed. They were really not human beings, and they were not doing human things. Obviously, their worries were unnecessary. Under the influence of spiritual power, Shen Junwoo led the 4 of them to move through space several times, and soon appeared in the God Burial Stream. However, in the place of separation, there was no trace of Cao Tianyu, Shui Bei, Yan Qingqing, and Lu Lu. Not good. Feng Fanyu's expression changed. They are not here. Could it be that they are in danger? Don't worry yet. Cao Tianyu's Earth Shield technique is the best ability to escape apart from his space powers. It can also avert danger when encountering danger. Quote. Shen Junwoo almost couldn't stand still. He was out of breath when he spoke, and said breathlessly, "On the contrary, we, except you, are all useless." Feng Fanyu couldn't help but glance at it. Che Jinlei and Dunan could only barely move, and Xiaoyao could barely move after drinking the Earth Spiritual Liquid. As for Shen Junwoo, the wound on the shoulder was so big that the entire shoulder was completely penetrated and was bleeding all the time. Psychic powers. The space power is almost exhausted, and the physical strength is also rapidly depleted due to injuries. You can tell it by hearing the voice. Click, click, click. At this time, behind the 5 people, a sound of human bones rotating suddenly sounded. Go, go, go. Shen Junwoo's face changed and he urged immediately. Do the legendary skeleton undead really exist? When I looked back from the corner of my eye, there seemed to be some skeleton monster trying to crawl out on both sides of the mountain stream. It was not all an illusion. Feng Sanyu heard it. She didn't dare to look, but she still glanced back for a moment with her peripheral vision, and saw the terrifying white skeletons struggling towards him. Feng Sanyu didn't dare to stay. He walked up to Shen Junwoo in one step and directly carried him on his back. Hey, what are you doing? Shen Junwoo was so frightened that he was the only one who carried others on his back, and no one else ever carried him on his back. Moreover, she is still a woman. Shut up. If you dare to talk too much, I will throw you behind you. Feng Fanyu was very grateful and also felt guilty. If she could have looked away earlier and broken the confinement of her mind earlier, Shen Junwoo would not have been seriously injured, let alone be forced to jump off a cliff to avoid the enemy's blade. The team's serious injuries were all caused by her incompetence. Perhaps, this is the only thing she can do for Shen Junwoo. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.